Good morning. Hope everyone's wonderful. It's Cryptomeria, and I'm up very early, but it's good. It's good. And I'm gonna need another power cord for this, but we'll figure it out. If you're not familiar with my channel or stream, I'm an artist out of Victoria, British Columbia, beautiful Canada. Well, apart from our government. And I usually do AI art and have a little blog of just random news stories and interesting stories and shorts from YouTube and other media. And yeah, I hope, like I said, I hope everyone's well. We are having this huge ass cold snap up here, and not so much where I am, but the rest of Canada, it's a little frosty cold, which is great. We got all those heat pumps because those really work well in the winter. And then they're telling like people in Alberta, oh, the grid will crash. It's like, okay, so all this move to electric, yeah, it's not really working. So I'm not even sure what I pulled up. This one I had for a while. I like the artwork though. Definitely had some good ones today. And your Klingon word of the day is tang, which is to strip or stumble. Now this one was weird. I just came across this like
Speaking of Mark Zuckerberg, do you hear? Concrete glass doors. No. They have their own room where they can grow their own food. They have their own water supply. And one of the things had an actual nuclear glass door.
He's getting as far away from civilization as you possibly can be.
The idea, but with being in Hawaii, is I guess you want to be surrounded by water.
Just unreachable, probably.
But also having the benefits of being a U.S. citizen.
But what's creepy is this guy in New Zealand who builds underground giant bunkers. He's had over 11 billionaires build bunkers in New Zealand. And it's a reoccurring theme. It's like, I think they might know something.
Yeah, creepy, eh? That's a creepy one. Some of these are like, oh god, and this one. Speaking of creepy. Of course, it is CNN.
We're going to seal up the border.
Good idea.
Because right now we have an invasion. We have an invasion of millions and millions of people that are coming into our country. I can't imagine why they think that's a good thing.
Donald Trump declaring
know.
victory with a historically strong showing in the
Okay,
Iowa
this one's
caucuses.
already heating
If these
up.
numbers hold, the biggest victory for a non-incumbent president in the modern era for this contest.
See if
A
this
relatively
works.
subdued speech as these things go so
Give me a
far,
second.
although here he is right now under my voice. You hear him repeating his anti-immigrant rhetoric. He did take time to praise his rivals, Haley and DeSantis and Ramaswamy by name.
I'll keep my eye
Like
on
to
it.
do that.
Hopefully it
Gracious,
charges.
but perhaps a sign of some message discipline, at least for one night. Under my voice, you hear him repeating his anti-immigrant rhetoric.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it seems. Usually I do an introduction of some of my art, but I just didn't have anything loaded. Oh, yeah. Okay, this was so silly.
Remember when I did a squishy makeover where I turned a squishy into a hyper-realistic cake? I'm going to do something similar today, only this time I'm doing a squishmallow makeover. Tons of you have asked me to make a hyper-realistic cake of a squishmallow.
So I'm making.
She has a really cool channel, and I love Squishmallows. I definitely love them. They are one of those fun things. So, but her video's a little long. I don't want to pull up the whole thing. Also, she's heavily monetized on YouTube, so we're just gonna like squish away.
Oh,
Towards you.
cute. I'm so glad I used edible paper and glitter. It is almost time to get the Squishville crew back together, and I am so excited. I can't wait to see the cake with the real Squishmallows. I wonder if you're going to be able to spot it right away. Let me know if you think Dane the Dragon blends in. Are you ready? I'm ready.
Like, that's pretty crazy.
And there you have it, a hyper-realistic cake of a Squishmallow.
Which one's
How do you think Dane the Dragon looks with his friends? I think he looks pretty good.
that looks pretty damn real.
Now it is finally time to cut this gender reveal cake. Here's your last chance. Do you think I'm going to have a boy or a girl? All right, let's do it. It's pink. I'm having a girl. I can't wait.
Isn't that just
I wonder
like-
if she's going to like cake.
Absolutely.
If you like this video and subscribe to my channel. I post a brand new cake every week. And I'll see you next week
does
for another
just-
cake.
Amazing stuff. I wish I had her skills, you know. I'm sure if I practiced I could get there, but oh, this one.
Push me that way.
Oh my goodness.
You had
She did it.
absolutely no right to do that.
You do know the repercussions of your actions right now, right?
Is that you give me my phone back?
But don't give you a chance to apologize, because I'm
Like, the thing with this is I'm like, why does he have her
I will
phone?
apologize after you give me my phone
Okay,
back.
so you're not gonna apologize, right?
Like,
Right.
I wish there was more
Right.
setup with
Right.
this.
So she's not gonna apologize.
Oh my god.
Exactly what you deserve.
What
Next
in
is
the
me.
world?
Next is me.
Just
Next
hit
is
a
me.
woman?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. You wanna hit a man? You wanna hit like a man? You wanna hit like a man?
Oh my
You
goodness.
hit bit like a man. Hey, sit
No,
down. Sit
now
down.
bro can get it.
All right.
No, you had no business accusing my man.
Like,
And still,
what the
Exactly.
You had no
hell
business doing
went
that.
on
Then you put your
this
hands on her.
flight?
You deserve everything you got.
Right.
I cannot believe you think it is okay to hit a lady.
You just hit me. What are you talking about?
No.
You hit me.
No.
What do you think was gonna happen?
Some of these are these animations. Like, it's gonna be really cool. And this one's a total setup, just so you. You look at those two dudes, they're like, oh, hell no, not happening in my hood. No. You were pranked, but that's not actually a funny prank if you've ever had your drink spiked. It's. Mhm. You have a murder kitty.
This is one of those very large I told you so, because there's plenty of people out there who believe that if they raise a kitten, whatever type of kitten, in this case a murder kitten,
A murder
that it will
kitten.
be respectful, responsible, caring, loving, adoring, and all those other things. But the truth of the matter is it's a cat. And especially a murder cat will always be a murder cat. It's never going to change.
It's
So,
always going to be a
ma'am,
murder cat.
If you think that that is your bed still, I do believe that your murder kitty has claimed it as theirs, and well, obviously they're not going to give it back to you, at least not without a fight. And I think that the murder kitty would win that fight.
I think it would too.
By a long shot. In fact, I believe that if you were to get in a fight with said murder kitty, your insides would be all over the floor where they're not supposed to be, leaving quite a mess, of which that murder kitty would probably
I'm sorry, just the way he says
that's not
murder
exactly
kitty,
what-
it's so funny.
What? Get a puppy.
Yeah. Don't get a murder kitty. I love that one. I'm gonna watch it again. I just that cat, just the cat at the beginning. Yeah. Yeah.
This is one of those very large.
Someone's in a bad mood that day. Never piss off a murder kitty. Okay, and I really like his
There is
channel.
growing concern in this country and fear about deadly attacks against transgender Americans.
Today is Transgender Day of Remembrance, honoring those in the transgender community who have lost their lives to acts
And a
of
lot
hate.
of people are offended by that because,
As people, we need your help
why isn't
to
it
end this
during Pride
epidemic
Month?
of violence.
Why is it
There are a few
during
ideas more commonly accepted
November
in
when the
progressive
veterans
circles
are being
than the notion that transgender people are killed at disproportionate rates, often referred to as an epidemic of anti-transgender murders. In some of the most extreme pockets of online discourse, you'll even find people warning about a trans going on all around us. This shocking narrative really tugs at the
it
heartstrings
is.
of
It-
all good-minded
it
people, and
grabs
is used
you
frequently
feel
in the
like,
debate
oh my
over
God, these poor
transgender
people.
issues. But where
Ugh.
does it come from? And is it actually true? We're going to break that down today in this video. But first, welcome back to my channel. I'm Brad Palumbo. I cover all the craziest things
He's
on
awesome.
the internet, in
Like and
politics,
follow
and the
him.
LGBT community from a center-right moderate perspective. If you're new here, do consider subscribing and drop a like if you find this video interesting or insightful, and comment with your thoughts. Now let's dive into this narrative about the trans murder epidemic. I've seen this repeated so much in online spaces and in political rhetoric that I honestly was curious where it came from and how it started. And now we even have the Vice President of the United States and the President of the United States parroting this claim and this language, so it's really made it. It's been about as successful a messaging campaign as one can imagine. It's risen to the top levels of our politics, our media, and our government. Yet at the same time, it's basically never been questioned. It's just taken at face value and repeated by media outlets and by politicians who want to sound sympathetic, but nobody's seeming to ask for the receipts
nobody's,
or the
like,
map that backs up
questioning
this
the narrative.
really extreme claim. I wanted to check it out for myself, so I went and tracked down where it came from. And it turns out it's partially derived from a report put out every year by the Human Rights Campaign, which you will know is one of the most left-wing LGBTQ rights activist organizations in America. They release an annual report called The Epidemic of Violence Against the Transgender and Gender Nonconforming Community in the United States. The most recent edition of this report was recently released, and it identifies 33 transgender Americans who were killed over the one-year time period between November 2022 and November 2023. It then directly connects this epidemic of anti-transgender violence to debates that good-hearted people might honestly
Just to put it in context for you, this is 33 people out of a country of what, 600 million, possibly more now with the border, but it's such a small percentage. And as this gentleman goes on to say, that's just recorded deaths. It does not mean they were killed because they were trans. And when you get into some of these case studies, it's like, fine, there is that number there, there's that statistic there, but it doesn't actually reflect the reality of these cases. And I'm not saying that trans people don't face discrimination or we shouldn't support them, but you would think nowadays, like, every other person wants to change their sex or has a problem or just just take this magic hormone and you'll be awesome. It's like, no, not quite. No, it's not how it works.
Disagree with, like sex segregation in school sports or restrictions on medical transitioning for minors. The epidemic of violence against transgender and gender nonconforming people is a national embarrassment, HRC President Kelly Robinson said in a letter accompanying the report. Each of these lives taken is a tragedy, the result of a society that demeans and devalues anyone who dares challenge the gender binary. Media institutions have been complicit in these attacks by presenting trans rights as part of a legitimate debate. The recent report had the exact impact that it was hoped to have by the activists that put it out. It was quickly parroted by mainstream media outlets like USA Today, The Hill, and many others, just like it has been in years past. And the mainstream media's uncritical embrace of this report every year and the
I watch
alarming
The
claims
Hill.
made in it
I pull
might
them
just
up
explain
sometimes, but
why it's
they
made it
are
to such high levels of our
so
politics and why it's taken
left.
for granted in many progressive
It's
circles
literally
and
like
even many
sometimes I
moderate
feel my
circles
brain
that there
melting.
is, in fact, an epidemic of violence against transgender people in the United States. There's just one problem. The entire premise, the very grain at the heart of this narrative, is a lie. It isn't true. Thankfully, transgender Americans are not, in fact, more likely to be murdered than any other American. In fact, the murder rate for the transgender community actually seems to be below the average, meaning they're less likely than your typical American to be killed in a given year. You don't have to take my word for it. I did the math, and I'm going to show you exactly how I reached this conclusion. So in 2022, we don't have full 2023 data yet, the U.S. murder rate was 6.3 per 100,000 people, according to FBI statistics. So if the average is 6.3 per 100,000, we've then got to ask ourselves, what's the murder rate for transgender people? And how does it compare to that average? Well, the Human Rights Campaign identified 33 examples of transgender or gender nonconforming people being killed in the time period between November 2022 and November 2023, so a year. By the way, these include not just actual hate crimes, but any time they were killed, regardless of whether there was any animus proven to be involved in terms of it being anti-transgender in its motivation. Anyway, that's relative to an estimated 1.6 million transgender people in the United States, according to the UCLA's Williams Institute. If you do some basic math and compare the amount of murders said there to the population we know that exists, you get a murder rate for transgender Americans of about 2.06 per 100,000, which is actually way below the average.
That's actually
now,
way
the Human
below.
Rights Campaign does absolutely know that they don't document every possible death or killing of a transgender person, and that their list is not exhaustive. They just do their best to find every example from available reporting, police documents, etc. So let's be generous and fair, and honestly, and this is a real stretch, let's double the number. Let's say instead of 33, the real number is 66, as if they were only able to find half the cases, when in reality they probably found most of them, but let's be super generous and double the number. The murder rate for transgender people would still be significantly lower than the overall average for Americans. Of course, any loss of human life is always a tragedy, and that includes every one of the incidences that's documented in HRC's report. But where is this epidemic of anti-trans murder exactly? As a matter of statistical facts, statistical reality, it simply doesn't exist. Now, the other significant claim made by the Human Rights Campaign and many of its allies is that transgender people of color are particularly likely to be killed. They point to the fact that 30 out of the 33 people documented in their report are people of color. And they conclude that transgender people of color are at elevated risk of fatal violence. But is this claim true? Well, of the 1.6 million transgender people in the United States, roughly 45% are non-white, again according to the Williams Institute. That comes out to about 720,000 transgender people of color. If 30 were killed over a one-year time period, that's about a 4.16 per 100,000 murder rate. Again, that's way below average. And this is all accepting HRC's data and the examples that they put in their report completely at face value. And all of their data assumes that each one of these is an example of someone wrongfully killed. But at least in some of the cases,
Here
it's
is
a
the
little more
kicker.
complicated
Here
than
is the
that. For
kicker
example,
with this.
HRC cites the killing of a transgender man named Banko Brown as one instance of the anti-trans murder epidemic. But even a pretty brief Google search reveals that Banko was killed by a security guard while shoplifting at a Walgreens after allegedly threatening to stab the guard and charge towards him.
There might be extenuating
circumstances. The security guard has not been charged with a crime specifically related to causing Brown's death.
a trans
Brown's
crime.
death is still, of course, sad, and I'm sure he'll be missed by loved ones and friends, and we all wish that situation could have been avoided.
It's tragic,
there's a world
but
of
they made
difference
bad
between the
lifestyle
story of
choices that
innocent
led
transgender
them
people being
into
targeted
getting
in
shot,
an
like
anti-transgender
trying to
murder
stab a
epidemic that
security
we hear from
guard. I
HRC,
think,
and the actual facts of many of the cases that it cites. Now, the analysts and activists in the LGBT community, they're not fools. They're not stupid. They surely know that their data doesn't mean what they say it means, and doesn't mean what reporters and journalists always claim that it means. So why don't they correct them? Why don't they stop misleading the public about emotionally fraught and really important issues? Simplest answer, of course, is to maintain their own relevance and raise money. It's a lot easier to get donors to break out their checkbooks when you're warning them about an epidemic of anti-trans murders than if you were to go to them, hat in hand, and say, well, actually, transgender people are murdered at a significantly below average rate compared to the overall America. It doesn't have quite the same ring to it, or the urgency to inspire donations, even though it's the truth. The second explanation for why they would mislead the public, why they would tug on our heartstrings with a false narrative like this, is arguably more sinister. In its report, HRC very explicitly ties this so-called supposed epidemic of anti-trans murders to their partisan agenda. They draw a bright red line between supposedly anti-trans legislation like bills restricting drag performances to adult attendees and legislation segregating high school sports by sex. Such bills ingrain discrimination and hate into law, perpetuate stigma and marginalization of transgender people, and harm the health and well-being of transgender youth, HRC concludes. Hear that, folks? Transgender people are being murdered en masse across the country, and if you disagree on things like sex-segregated sports or whether minors can consent to sterilizing medical transitions, you are a bigot, and you are getting people killed. You see how this is a tactic?
Yeah.
Do you see how they're weaponizing the tragic and premature death of transgender Americans
absolute
try
best
to
term
shut down and stifle debate? I mean, they literally attack the media for treating trans issues as if there's any legitimate debate. There is, though, on some of this stuff. Are we really supposed to believe that somebody like Banko Brown wouldn't have died if more male transgender students were allowed to compete in girls' high school sports? Huh? Look, activists,
I think
really
it had
don't
more
even
to do with
attempt
stabbing
to defend any of this
attempted
on a
stabbing of a
logical
security
basis.
guard.
No, they're simply hoping that emotionally charged and extreme rhetoric and stories about an epidemic of murders against trans people will scare and cow good-hearted Americans into submission. And unfortunately, all signs suggest right now that this dishonest approach is working a treat. Alright guys, that's it for this video. I'm Brett Colombo.
That is the thing.
Do drop a like if you found
backlash
this interesting
against,
or informative, and comment with your thoughts below. I will see you all in my next video. Do consider
as soon as it
subscribing.
crosses
And if
the
you're not
line
sick of
to
me yet,
someone's
you can check out
kids,
more of my content
there's the
here
line.
or here.
There's where you're going to get the backlash. And a lot of good
thanks for
trans
watching,
people
and I'll see you all
are
next
going to
time.
get caught in the crossfire. A lot of gay people are going to get caught in the crossfire just because it's so insidiously pushed on us. And I had no problem with it until it started becoming about kids. And that's just wrong. Like, you know, when you have a 50-year-old man swimming with, 13-year-old girls, and it's like Swim Canada's like, oh, well, that's just our policy. It's an open ages event. It's like, but the funniest thing is he didn't even win. came in like, I was like, good. But that's still really creepy. Like, you know, it's unnerving enough, you know, being in a pool, very exposed around men. But then to have like one in the change room with you, like, oh no, I'm just one of the girls. It's like, oh my God, like, you know, like it can be traumatic because it's like you're not supposed to be there. You really aren't. And can I identify as a 13-year-old girl again? You know, not had to pay taxes.
On Tuesday, foreign activists and the Norwegian environmental movement gathered outside the parliament, where a vote took place on seabed mining. The government is proposing to open up an area in the Arctic almost the size of Italy to this type of extraction. Norway has become the first country in
I
the
don't
world
know
to
if
move
you
forward
agree
with
with
the
it or
controversial
disagree with
practice of
it.
commercial
I
scale
just
deep
pulled
sea
up this
mining.
one because
The bill passed on Tuesday
I like
will
little
accelerate the hunt
snapshots
for
in
precious
time.
metals, which are in
I
high
know I can
demand
go
for green
back years
technologies.
later and be like, especially like some of the ones I wish during the truckers protest I pulled up more. I just didn't know what was going on or how big it was, or you know, how important some of these little stories or channels would be, you know. And I lost so much with my other YouTube channel going down, but it's still in the ether somewhere. And I do still have, I tried to keep a list or tried to record it. And right now it's like we are at such a pivotal junction in history that even if I can't always get my artwork, I want to save all these little stories, like newspaper clippings. It's basically like a virtual clipped out newspapers. No idea where I got that from. Fuck you, Dad. But I find it, there's so much going on in the world and it's fascinating. Oh, this was a crazy story. Goldstream Gazette. A Senate cop got fired for stalking a female partner. I'm not going to pull up that full story, but this went on for years. He is no longer with the force, but this wasn't just like one time. Like, he used department property to look her up like an insane amount of times. Like, I was like, oh my God, just, if she doesn't want you to see her Facebook, don't look at her Facebook. But using government, like, you know, police property to stalk your partner, that's gross. That's creepy. I don't know what's going on these days sometimes. And this is cool artwork. It's going to turn into something cool for the animation. Class act. This is how you do it. You see Trudeau or Biden or any of these guys, like, no, it's like, no, I'm fine, I'm a princess, fine, but I got my own bags. I might be like, and I know that feeling too. Like, so even though she's a princess, she's like, this is a work trip. I'm carrying my own bags. Like, this is wonderful. You're coming out, but you really didn't need to roll out the red carpet, you know? I think that's... Say what you will about the royals. You know, that is a class act. Just very posh. No, I think that I love that one. Just because she's so like, it's like she's one of us. Oh God, this one. Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back to Moose on Loose. My name's David. Today I'm going to be reacting to your comments.
Such a good channel.
Your comments are the best part of my day every day. They are so funny. You guys are hilarious.
And he's from Up Island.
So let's jump into this here. The example I'm going to be using
rare
today
you
is
can
this,
meet people from
cringe of Justin Trudeau at the
on the
Samosa
island
factory. It
from
is absolute cringe. If you
YouTube.
haven't seen the video, I'll do a little quick clip
And some
here.
of them, like Timber, turned out to be jerks, but whatever. Scams happen.
All right.
You know, and
terrible,
the
man.
thing with
So many
Timber,
guys made funny comments
I'll
about
say it
him
after.
learning how to count and
I'll
stuff.
say it after.
Ah-ooh, 1, 2, ah-ooh, buckle my shoe.
Yeah, I know.
You guys
I'm
have
like,
some funny comments down
it's
here.
the most. I would not
Hacking
even
samosas is
trust
clearly
that
beyond his skill
box.
set.
Like
Just his running the country. as
they,
well. Yes,
they
yes,
probably like
that
took
is-
it out
that's very
back and
true.
burned it after.
This first part
Like
of this guy's
that
comment made me
whole
laugh so
like.
hard. It's like a child pretending to do a
I
golf
know it is. It is. It's like you're the fucking prime minister,
so
and
true.
this
It
is
really
a
is.
game.
Oh,
It's
God.
a game to him.
I love this one, Hank. That's the only crowd. That's the only crowd he can draw of workers who have to be there.
Oh yeah,
That's hilarious.
It is true. You were trapped there.
Oh,
It's
God.
not like
Yeah, a couple of you guys pointed
you
out
can
he's not
quit
wearing a
your
hairnet.
job.
Yeah, that's
Avoid
convenient,
him.
right? Rules don't apply to him. He's so proud of himself counting to 100. He really did look like he was proud of himself.
No, he
shoot.
did.
I'll
I
never
know.
buy
That's
samosas again.
this man. Like
Just in case Justin Trudeau touched them. These are hilarious. Oh, God. Oh, you guys crack me up every day I read these. It's just like the funny. I spend an hour just laughing.
oh no,
I'm trying to get
I
down
did
with
too.
comments.
I did
There's so
too.
many
This
of
was a
you.
great thread.
I've never experienced this. I've been on YouTube 8 years. I've never seen this many comments on videos. It's just outrageous. You guys are awesome.
Oh, because it was so pathetic.
Yeah, this one
It
here.
was
Exactly.
so
That boy has never worked a
absolutely
day in his life.
pathetic.
Yeah, that's it. He has never worked a day in his life.
Nope.
Oh. This one, the box will balance itself.
The box will balance itself. Yeah, that one was a good one.
There was another comment in here somewhere that said the same thing. The samosas will balance themselves. Oh, God. A Tony Khan accurate 100 shows him capable of balancing a budget. Yeah, and then he's mentioning here, talking about destroying the RCMP over Rebel News. Yeah, that's coming up. That's a whole other thing. Rebel News guys getting arrested. Chrystia Freeland. There's a lot of Canada's not a good state.
Hello.
Also, upcoming
what's
stuff
up?
with the healthcare or the natural
Good to
health
see
products
you.
are being
Well,
phased out in Canada
welcome.
to favor corporate greed.
We're making fun of Trudeau right now.
We're in a bad state, folks. Okay, there's a
Oh
couple
yeah,
really
we are.
good zingers in here. There's lots
Canada's
in here, but
broken.
there's a couple more real good zingers. This one. Betty knows how to pack fudge.
Oh, burn! I bet Trudeau does.
There's another one that's down here. It's so funny. Oh, God. I'm sure that batch won't be sent out. It's contaminated.
That was me. I'm such a nerd. I was.
He's doing Putin photo style.
That one was so good. No,
Breathing on them crows.
there were like
no more
thousands of comments, and they're all just like little singers. Like
he's terrible at everything. It's just, it's so sad, but it's true. It really is.
It is.
He's terrible
Well,
at
we have
everything.
to laugh because it
Contaminated
helps with therapy.
toxin.
Because
Oh,
you know
God.
we're basically in a
Okay,
recession,
we're gonna
and
finish off with this one. It's along the lines of the other one there. Next stop is the fudge. Next stop is the fudge. For Justin, it'll be like coming home. He's a professional fighter.
It's like the Tom Cruise South Park. It's like the Tom Cruise South Park. It really is.
Oh, you guys are killing me. I gotta thank you guys for this. I've had a lot of people in my situation.
No,
here, and my
the
livelihood
link
destroyed.
to that one
That was
is
the beginning.
there.
This
You
laughter
can,
is the
and
beginning.
it
This is
has
awesome.
it connected to the
I laughed
other
every day to
link
this.
because
I
those
appreciate all of
comments,
you
like,
for all the funny comments. This is awesome. So I'll get back to producing more episodes here. This is just a little nice interlude here.
Moose
Hope
on
you
the
guys,
loose.
Stay warm, stay fed. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Moose on the loose. He's a good YouTuber. It's just so. This is like this one. Okay, trigger warning: if you're having breakfast, please turn off your TV screen or whatever. You do not want to.
You're not using the bathroom in our trash can. Get out.
No. What the hell are you doing?
Get out my store. Get out here.
No.
You got that for me.
Like, no, people like this really exist in the world.
Get your shit and get out of our store. I can make my store. You want me to help make that store? I'm saying without, I don't want. Ma'am, get out of the store.
Get
out of the
this.
store. I'm not going to keep asking you to say it to me. I don't want to make a mess in your store. Leave out the store.
Like, I'm sorry you're having problems, but a trash can? Like,
get the fuck out the store. I'm asking their place I can open up.
I would have, like, grabbed her by the... Yeah. Get the fuck out. Oh my god. Like I said, trigger warning. Like, people like this really exist in the world. Like, I've had bad moments. You know, we're all human. We all have those moments. But you don't walk into a clothing store and be like, oh, hey, can I take a shit in your bucket? Like, what? And I'm sorry, she obviously was in a lot of distress. Oh, yeah, and the whole defense secretary, like, okay, apparently their secretary she was on vacation and didn't know.
A grand jury in Ohio is still weighing
so
whether
this
to
might be
indict
very
a woman
controversial.
had a miscarriage at home. A decision
But
has
this
been
is
expected today,
the
but now it could
disturbing
take
way
a couple more weeks. Brittany Watts
the
is
repeal
her name.
of
She
Roe
was nearly
versus
20
Wade is
weeks
going.
pregnant when a doctor informed her that it was no longer viable.
And in
3 days
Canada,
later, she
it's a
miscarried at home.
non-issue. Our laws
In a
are
world
clear.
with Roe,
I know there's
Britney's
a lot of
grief was private.
conservatives
It would remain
and
between her,
even
her
some
loved ones,
liberals
and her
and
doctor.
other people
But
who,
now Brittany is facing criminal charges
for religious
abuse
reasons
of a
or
corpse.
whatever,
We need to discuss this.
want.
I want to bring in
Okay,
Dr.
let's
Peter
get rid
Patel,
of it.
a clinical physician
No,
and former
our
senior
laws are
policy
clear.
director under President
They
Obama,
are fair.
and former U.S. Attorney Joyce Vance.
Neither
still with
side
us.
likes them, but
Anita,
this
can
is
you
our
explain
laws.
this? How does something
And it
as
should be a
common as
non-issue.
miscarriage
We have bigger
even
problems.
qualify as abuse of a corpse?
Yeah, Stephanie, if I could explain
Because
it,
she couldn't even
probably
bury.
would not be here because there are a whole lot of things wrong with this, and I'm sure Joyce will get
This
into
is
this. I will say
like
that
one of the
what I think
most
is
screwed up
troubling is not
cases,
just that
but it's
Brittany
Ohio.
being brought under these charges.
Like, I'd
and that
almost
this is even
expect
being
this
discussed.
case in
And by the
Utah.
way, for something that I don't want to say that
You
her
know,
exact circumstance is incredibly common because
I thought
she
Ohio was
arrived
a
and
little
came
more
and sought medical
advanced,
care
but
not once but
this
twice
is-
and tried to actually understand what she should do. And both times, the first time they
I
had to
think
actually
that
bring in
doctor
convene
should
an
be
ethics panel.
charged
And again, this is all
with
because of what has happened in kind of the post-Dobbs decision, and especially just to be clear, before what happened in
Malpractice.
December in Ohio, where they
'Cause
really put into place
you do not
protections
tell-
for reproductive rights.
You do
So put
not
all
do
that into
that to
context, Steph.
someone who
No, I
just
can't
lost
explain
a
it
child.
except to say that now there are women who are worried that if they
Yeah.
have miscarriages, that they need to have proof of this and to carry tampons or pads, and that is not a dialogue that I ever thought I would have with a patient, that they should also be careful about how they document this incredibly private and grieving
Like-
circumstance that stays with a woman. Any of us
Like,
who have
it's
gone through a
disgusting
miscarriage
what's
remember
happening to
exact
this woman.
circumstances. Can you imagine
But-
that playing out in the media and then to have criminal charges be brought
You
against
know, and
you?
I'm Christian, but at the same time, I am also very, very pro-choice. Pro-choice includes any
Joyce, can you explain this to us from a
medical
legal perspective?
decision you make about your body.
Yeah, I think crazy does really
I think
well
there should
to
be
characterize
limits
what's going on
with
here. This is a personal
late-term
tragedy. This is
abortions,
not something that should be
but
playing
also
out in a
things
police station
happen,
after a woman has been
and
failed by her doctors, not because her doctors
you know,
wanted to
also
fail
if
her, but because they're now
men got
operating in
pregnant,
this legal environment
clinics would be
where they
drive-through,
are
and it might be
personally
getting
at
close as
risk
they have
if they
tampons in the
provide the
men's
care that she
rooms.
needed.
You
To
know,
Kavita's
because
point, there are
that's
all
how
of
it
these
works,
very
right?
narrow distinctions
I
happening
miss
here.
that
She's 21 weeks pregnant
time
when this
in.
happens. 22
Oh
weeks
my
is
God, they got John
viability
Wayne
in
on
Ohio.
TV.
She should have been
Sorry.
able to obtain this procedure, but she wasn't. They convened a medical ethics board. They failed to act. And yet
Yeah.
again, this is a situation where
She
had she
should sue
miscarried in
them
the
for
hospital, the
malpractice,
fetus
not
would
be
not
getting
have been
charged.
treated as a human body. That, of course, is the distinction here. She would not have been subject to the charges the grand jury has been asked to consider,
Well,
which is
and
in
in
essence tampering
Canada,
with a
it's very
corpse.
different.
A corpse.
If you
So
have
all
a
of this is on
miscarriage,
very thin ice, legally speaking,
you
which
know,
may speak to why the
the
decision by this
doctors
grand jury has been delayed.
accommodate you.
Joyce,
They
in
take care of
Texas,
you,
a
and
court just
also
ruled
you
that
have to
Texas can
file
now
a
ban
legal death
emergency
certificate.
abortions, despite
The
federal
hospital or
guidance that says these
doctor.
procedures are specifically designed
This is just
to
how the
save
law
women's
is. Like,
lives.
the
What are we to make
doctor
of this?
here would never have left her
Right,
just,
same
sorry,
verse,
you
just
can't
in
get,
another
you're,
state, right? This
sorry,
is a situation where
your
DOJ, after
pregnancy's
the
done,
Dobbs
but
decision,
we can't
issued
do anything
guidance
for you,
that
and
said
then
that
we're going
under
to charge you
EMTALA, this
for.
law that provides certain sorts of rules about how federally funded hospitals need to operate,
It's so
it
sad, like
reinforced
this.
this notion that emergency rooms are required to
When you've
provide
had to go through it,
life-sustaining
or,
care. And
you
in some
know, it
cases,
hurts.
that's an abortion, right? We see that play out in Brittany Watson's case, where she's denied one. So this was the Biden administration's rather
like,
uncontroversial proposition. But Texas, of course, challenged it.
and
And
it's
the
not just
impact
hard on
here
the
is the
women,
same
it's
as we're
hard on
seeing
their
with these other
partners.
laws.
Like,
Something that should be clear isn't clear.
people assume
Doctors
men
lack clarity
aren't
on when they're
excited about
entitled to
being a
perform
daddy,
abortions
or,
and medical
you know,
emergencies in order to save women's
but
lives. And yet
it's
again,
not
women are
just the
being
women,
progressively
it's the
denied
whole
care because of
family,
this
you
lack
know,
of certainty, this cloudiness
and
that Texas and other states are forcing onto the legal environment.
this is
Yeah,
insane.
Kavita, I guess we
Like,
shouldn't be surprised.
this will
Women
never
around the
happen in
world are
Canada.
watching all of this and they're taking
And
action. The New
anytime
York
Trudeau
Times is
ever
reporting that there's
says,
been a
oh,
huge
this is what's going to
increase
happen,
in
it's like, no,
orders of
no,
abortion
this ain't
pills from
happening.
women who are not
And I
even
am a
pregnant.
Christian
What does that
conservative,
tell you
and this
about
ain't
the kind of
happening because
atmosphere that
it's
we are in and
against
how women are reacting
our
to it?
charter rights.
I think they're reacting like
Our
anybody
laws
should,
are
that they
clear.
need to do everything possible,
Anytime
no
Trudeau
matter what state you're
tries
in,
to
to protect their own health
spark
care.
this,
And
it's
this is also
deflection.
just
It's
to
like,
remind people
oh, well,
listening that this is because
oh
one of
no,
those
they'll
medication
take away
abortion pills,
abortions. It's like,
mifepristone,
no,
is being
no,
called to question and
we,
brought to the Supreme Court because of a quote-unquote lack
our
of
rights
evidence,
are
despite
clear.
decades of evidence to support the safety of this
As
drug.
women,
So it is no wonder, and
it
Steph,
is a
I've had
non-issue
Masks,
in
and I will
Canada, but in
gladly,
the
I'm in the state of
States,
Maryland, licensed in
this
DC
is
as well. I'm
huge.
happy to write
And
those
this
prescriptions
case will actually
because
set
this is every
precedent
bit as
for
much
a
of
lot of other
healthcare as it is
cases
when I
in
dispense
other
vaccines, when I give
states.
people medication for their high blood pressure. So I
And
don't
it's
treat it any
unfortunate,
differently,
like,
and
my
women are
heart
taking
goes
this into
out to
their own
this woman.
hands. The fact
It's,
that we are having to do this and that women are looking towards crossing, they're not even able to have these conversations with their doctors in their own states because of the fears. If you're in Ohio, if you're in Texas, if you're in many of these states, some of these people feel like they can't even have that conversation. So they are accessing it through other channels, all legal, by the way, but it doesn't shock me whatsoever. And by the way, I've encouraged primary care doctors to have these conversations with women. I will say it's not an accident that Brittany Watts is a woman of color. It is higher likelihood that women of color, especially Black women, are not even given options around some of these things, no matter what state they're in. And the policing of Black women's bodies, all this adds up to a formula that doesn't shock me that medication abortions for preventive, just having that prescription on hand, are in high demand today.
Dr. Kavita Patel, thank you for being here. Joyce, thank you as well.
I know that's an uncomfortable subject, but I'm kind of actually shocked about the fact that women are being regulated like this, when it's not an issue in Canada. Oh, This one's good. It's long. It's about the vaccine. Oh, God, this was so funny. I did find a video of him ransacking the SPCA,
I went to Kid
or
Rock's house
the
in Nashville, and he has
ASPCA. It's
a replica of the White House built on his property in Nashville. It is a massive house that he's building. It's quite a bit bigger than the actual White House. It's
This
quite a
is
bit
what
bigger.
happens
The
when you
real White
have
House
more
is
money
Oval
than
Office and everything.
brains.
No, it's way better than that. Wow. It is 2 bedrooms. It's about 27,000 square feet. It has 2 bedrooms. It has a guest bedroom, and it has his main bedroom. The rest of the house is just party. Really? He has a gold elevator in the center of the house, and he goes, and the construction worker was like, well, a lot of people like to hide their elevators. He's like, Dad! He goes, I want people coming over my house like, Kid Rock's got a gold elevator.
Okay, it's Kid Rock. Nobody expects brilliance out of that man. But seriously, it's like all that money. Like, what are you doing with it? Like, yeah, it's epic, but it's also like,
my oldest daughter, when she was in 5th grade, she had a little girl that kept threatening her at school. And I remember talking to Lily about it. I said, sweetheart, here's the first thing I want you to understand. I said that the way this little girl is behaving and the way she's talking to you and the things she's saying probably suggests
this
that
is a
things are
good
pretty bad
dad.
at home. I want you to have a certain element of grace. But if she lays a hand on you, that's a different story. And I remember taking Lily and I said, well, sweetheart, you got to learn how to fight. You got to learn how to defend yourself. So let's walk through that. And we spent the rest of the night just kind of going through like, okay, how do you get your hands up? How do you throw hands? How do you block? How do you defend yourself? And I remember the first thing she said was, well, Daddy, the school doesn't let us fight. I said, you don't worry about that. I'll deal with the school. Nobody has a right to lay hands on you, and you don't have the right to defend yourself. She was going to show up at school the next day, and she knew what she was going to do. She was going to start a fight. She wasn't going to try to be mean. She was going to have grace and mercy toward this girl, and she knew Daddy had her back and Mommy had her back. She was not going to get in trouble, but the moment she got hit, she was taking her out, and that was it.
Pretty much. Well, you know, I mean, I got bullied in school, and I was always worried about physical violence, but none of it came. And almost like, just hit me once. Just hit me once. Let me settle it. You know? But I think that's, you can agree or disagree with me, but I think that's a good approach for, you know, no, this is wrong. This is wrong, but if someone hits you, you are like that airplane clip, you know? A lot of people don't even, like, I don't know what's happening in society where people can act out in these ways, and then I think it's just we had no repercussions. Nobody said no to them their entire lives. We have this whole generations, I'll say like quite a few of entitlement where, oh, well, I can do this and it won't matter. Well, maybe if people said no, started saying no sometimes. Oh, this one was nuts. This lady is like, holy crap.
A woman who swerved to avoid a deer ended up trapped in a mangled truck on Mount Baldy
Living
for
on
4
an
days.
island.
But thanks to a good Samaritan,
this happens.
that woman lives on to see another day.
Just yelled
We've
again,
had
help, and I said,
people
hello,
disappear in the bush for a week.
Can you please call 911? I've been here for days.
Chris Ayers was on his way to go fishing, and that's when he heard the cries for help. He says the woman was standing inside her mangled vehicle, but was unable to get out.
She asked for water, of course. So I immediately got her some water.
Despite the lack of water and chilly temperatures, the woman survived for 4 days after tumbling more than 100 feet from the road.
Angels were working overtime on that one.
and it just can't be by chance. You know?
No. Like, wow. I'm sure, like, she's traumatized, but that's gonna, like... Oh, good. I like this one.
A new year is an opportunity to create a new you. But unfortunately, it takes hard work, character, and grit to create a new you. So my sincerest recommendation is to let the new year be an opportunity for you to dedicate yourself to becoming a worse you. Today's episode is brought to you by the Democratic National Committee. And there's no better way to become a worse person than by making yourself a victim. So today, I'll be giving you an instructional on the best ways to be a victim in 2024.
Because we didn't...
Wish it was easier. When faced with a difficult situation or a challenge in your life, don't make the mistake of getting stronger to overcome it. Just wish it was easier. The science of wishing helps magically change your circumstances to be much easier for the flaccid person that you are to deal with them. Science says that wishing is 100% safe and effective. Compare that to the baseless claims that you can become stronger physically and psychologically. That's just misinformation. Label everything trauma. The beauty of the pop psychology that you study on Instagram is that it helps you take sound psychological principles and apply them in the most mindless way possible to validate your self-induced flaws.
Exactly.
Therefore, if you experience something as insane and unbearable as an uncomfortable situation, just label yourself as traumatized. And then treat your trauma by bitching about it to anyone who's pathetic enough to want to listen to you. The New Year's Workout List program.
Yeah.
For nearly a generation, the most popular New Year's resolution is to start working out. But recent breakthroughs in the science of mainstream media have revealed that working out is rooted in far-right extremism and white supremacy. Yuck. It's taken until 2024 for people to be smart enough to realize that being weak because you refuse to exercise makes you stronger. Because that definitely makes sense. So resolve to do precisely 0 forms of exercise this year, because if you do, apparently you're a Nazi sympathizer. And by the way, if you're extremely anti-Israel, you already are. So enjoy that one, sport. Look for narcissism everywhere, so you find it. Anytime you hear another person with the audacity to have free will, which compels them to say something that you disagree with, which is anything outside of the narrative that you worship, label them a narcissist. This protects you from the inconvenience of having to open the anus of your mind to let something old and rotten leave. Instead, you get to stay exactly where you are instead of moving forward. And just remember, you can't be a victim if you're making progress. Special note for conservatives. Up until this point, you probably think that I've only been speaking to maniac leftists.
He reminds me of the...
That's because I have been.
My
But a special note for
ex-husband.
you. If you've unknowingly adopted the traditional leftist value of being a victim, you may have positioned yourself as a victim to the tyrants, the globalists, the corporate media, big tech, the medical industrial complex, the censorship industrial complex, the World Economic Forum, the corrupt Biden administration, the corrupt FBI, the corrupt DOJ, the corrupt CIA, government surveillance, the border crisis, the climate crisis fearmongers, Bill Gates and his forced medicating agenda, Bill Gates and his forced fake meat agenda,
Oh my
Bill
God,
Gates
can I-
invading
can
your
I
life with
just
Microsoft,
wake up
Bill
next
Gates'
year?
plan to block out
It
the
might be
sun,
better.
Bill
It
Gates
might be
buying up all
better.
the farmland. What
I
were
know
we
it's
talking
only
about?
January.
You
It
might
could
see
get
yourself
better,
as a
but
victim to those things. And you can keep doing that in order to hand your power over to them,
or
you can
even
live your
another
life
year.
in a
I
kind,
don't know
loving,
if
yet
it's gonna.
bold and
Can I go
fierce way,
back in time?
so you're not
Is that an
consenting to their
option?
control over you, which they only have if you see yourself as a victim of them. So, do what you want with that. In conclusion, a new year and a worse you won't happen by accident. But these tips on how to be the best victim in 2024 will help you defy your own human nature and become worse beyond your wildest dreams. And even beyond your wildest
and
nightmares.
just a hint,
Enjoy
he
inflicting
didn't
these
mention
strategies on yourself. and have a
definitely
great
push the
2024.
pronouns because they're great.
Of
I
personal power
love
to the DNC. You're
the
supporting our cause of controlling you even more, which can only happen
insanity
if you see
of
yourself
having
as a
to
victim.
learn,
Remember,
like,
Trump is bad.
Outsource your power to us. It'll
Like,
probably
hey,
work
if you
out
want to
really well for
identify hearsay,
Hardcore.
what?
I get stressed. You
This
and I also
one
live in a
is,
world
like,
filled
interesting.
with toxins. Plus,
Like,
I
some
like
of
to
his
look good
ads,
and
I'm
feel
like,
good. And I'm someone who wants to take control of my health. But the problem is,
I
there's
wouldn't
only
take
so
it.
much time in the day.
Viagra's
So
not
how are you
good
going
for
to meet
your
all these
heart,
health
but
objectives? Well, problem solved with the
I
Bond
can
Charge
identify
infrared
as an
sauna
Apache
blanket. The infrared sauna blanket is
but I
my
hate
favorite
it.
sauna
Yeah.
system I have ever found.
That would
It's
be
the most
so
cost-effective sauna system on the market. Plus, it's
Oh my
compact, so it
god,
doesn't
that
clutter
would be
up and take
so nice.
valuable
And
space
he
up in
is
your
so
home.
damn
The infrared
buff.
sauna helps your body
Like, he is just
detoxify.
insanely
It elevates
buff
your
for a
metabolism. You can burn up to 600 calories in a single sauna session. It reduces stress, promotes
it's like eye
relaxation, helps
candy.
with your sleep. It boosts those fat-burning heat shock proteins, my friend. Once I started using the Bond Charge
I won't be
infrared
creepy.
sauna
I'll keep
blanket,
it above,
it was like a dream come true because it
above
helps
the
me
waist,
accomplish
but I just
many
wanna
health
pet
objectives
them.
all at once. Bond Charge makes infrared saunas
Whatever.
easy,
I
accessible,
have my
and
moments.
affordable to you. Just go to bondcharge.com/JP, and while you're there, be sure to use the discount code JP for 15% off. Enjoy, my friend.
That actually looks pretty cool. Oh god, that just feel like warm and like. But I just got new sheets, and I was so happy with just how I've been starting to clean and redecorate. Like, even though we're in a cold snap, it's never too late for spring cleaning. And I really need to. I just want to make it nice for myself. I was going to make it nice for someone else, but... Oh, this was insane. Yeah, this is a great idea.
Just when you think all of Canada has gone crazy, British
No,
Columbia
this is a
says,
great
"Hold my
idea,
beer." Oh wait,
because-
I've got something stronger, and I'd love to give it to your children.
I'll be your friend to give you
I
drugs,
really can't believe I'm reporting
and you
on
don't
this.
have
I
to
had
tell
put this
your
out on Twitter
parents.
as soon as I read the article.
Like,
We'll
what
get
the
into
fuck? We
article
used
in
to
a minute
protect
here, but
kids
I put it
from
on
this.
Twitter. You've got to
Now
be
we're
kidding
doing
me.
it.
BC plans to give recreational bad stuff to kids without parents' knowledge. This is really a thing. Now,
Can't
before
make
we get
this
into
up,
the article,
folks.
I have to make some caveats here.
Oh, and you
when
can
I'm
also
talking
like
about
shoot up
this
in a
thing here, I'm
playground.
gonna call it
It's no
Fenty.
problem.
When I'm talking about this
Because
stuff here,
apparently
I'm gonna call it
junkies
Sukin.
have more rights
And
than
when we're talking about this
taxpayers
stuff
in
here, I'm going to
BC.
call it Hydro.
It's
hopefully I'm not
discriminatory
saying bad
that
words,
they
the
can't
things that,
shoot up
the algorithm
in a
doesn't like
playground.
to hear, and hopefully
I'm
this
like,
gets out to as many
how
people
about
as
you get
possible,
your fucking
because we
tent
want to spread
out of the
this
playground?
message.
How about we
Absolutely,
clean up
because
our
this
towns?
This is an
How
important
about we
issue, and
stop
should be
endorsing
talking about
bad
this
behavior
as,
like
as
this?
well as the politicians should be talking about
I
this.
don't know.
One guy
I think I'm
that I know
just.
in my region is going to be talking
Well,
about it.
once
He's
again,
doing
I'm
a
against
meet and
climate
greet,
change.
this
Like,
weekend.
no,
Come,
you.
I'm going to visit.
Let's
I'm
give
going
the
to be
kids
part of it.
drugs
I'm going to
and
come out. But this is Marcus Wong.
send them on the
He's
swing
running
after
for
a
the
shot
Conservative Party
age.
to be a Conservative member of Parliament
Well, I guess that.
to run against the Liberal who's currently sitting in this region. So
You
if you're part
can't
of
make
the
this
Sea to
up,
Sky
folks.
region,
It's disturbing. This is
West
disgusting.
Vancouver, Sunshine
This
Coast,
shouldn't
come
be
on out.
BC.
We're going to be a meet and greet in Squamish at the Ledge Cafe. So check that out. I know if you go on Google, it says permanently closed. No, we've got the venue, so we're gonna be there. We're gonna again meet and greet.
Oh, I wish I could have gone to this. It's just hard on the island.
There. But let's get into the story.
That's a big
Adam
trip for
Zigo
her.
on
Just
the
to
National
meet and
Post
greet.
put out BC plans to give safer supply Fenty to minors. Again, Fenty. I can't say these things.
Yeah, let's
And
just use
parents
all the
won't
funny
have
code
a say.
words,
No
but we all
minimum
know
age
what's
listed
going
in
on.
protocols for
It's
providing
disgusting.
youth with taxpayer-funded recreational Fenty. This is. I couldn't even believe what I was reading.
Okay,
when
can I
read
just
this,
save my
but
tax
I had to
dollars
do a
and do
bit of
my own
research, and I went into some of this stuff, and we're going to talk about
Why
this
am I
in
buying
this
it
video.
for
I'm gonna try to
kids?
get through it as quickly as
Can't
possible.
these parents
In
buy
what
their own
constitutes
kids?
a clear trampling
Like,
of parental
what
rights,
am I
British
missing
Columbia
here?
recently authorized the provision
How is this
of a
even
safer supply
reality?
Fenty
Like,
to youth across the
if-
province, regardless of the
like
parents
when I was
are
in high
informed
school,
of or
pot
agree to
was
this
like
measure. The province,
the biggest deal.
the provincial government has
There was
provided
maybe
limited
like
access to safer supply
one
Fenty
guy who
since
did
at
like
least
heroin.
2020.
There were
Now,
a few
this is
kids
not,
who did
we're not talking
coke,
about
but
Many of you
It
seen
was
Aaron Gunn's
so.
film.
It wasn't.
Canada is
Oh
dying.
no! I'll just give you
film to
like.
that was Vancouver is dying. He talks
we'll,
about
we'll show you how to use
hydro,
safe. Your
supply that
straws
they're doing. That's
properly.
the
So
safe
when
supply.
you
This is
snip
the
coat,
safer
like
supply.
I'm just like,
This is
what the hell is going on
something
in
else
BC?
entire. This is
This
actually
is wrong.
supplying
It's
Fenty,
wrong.
and this was a trial run.
Flat
and
out
now they're
wrong.
going full bore
This
with
is
it, and
disgusting.
believe it or not, there's actually no evidence in this to suggest that this will actually work. And we're going to get into this primarily through small-scale pilot projects. However, last August, British Columbia Centre on Substance Use, the BCCSU, an influential research organization, published protocols permitting doctors and nurses to prescribe safe Fenty tablets to adults and minors. The organization confirmed to me in an email that it had been contracted by the province to produce these documents to further support clinicians prescribing safer supply across the province. Now, getting into this, they actually do have this study. They put it out, and this is the Fenty tablet maintenance program study. Links will all be in the description down below. Please go check them out for yourself. I read through a majority of this stuff. It's really tough to get through these ones, but again, obviously the article and more stuff in here. But in this, they talk about the eligibility, and they talk about who will be eligible for this, and the usual suspects, users, this kind of thing, people addicted to the things, Fenty included. But this is a way of getting them into this program, right? So talking about the eligibility for this. Now, for participants who are youth under the age of 19 years old, to prescriber approval is strongly recommended. In this document, there is nothing anywhere that says anything about parental consent, nothing about getting the authorization of a parent. Even in the section where it talks about informed consent, it mentions nothing about who actually has consent over minors in these situations. And they just completely ignore that, and they talk about two people prescribing it, two prescriber approval. So you just need two people to actually make this prescription. And then coverage, obviously, in this one. Once approved, the approval period lasts for 1 year, at which point coverage must be renewed annually. This, to me, I don't know how you would read that, but this tells me that this is not a recovery program. I've never heard of any recovery program that expects people to continually, year after year, renew the program and get in and keep this supply of stuff coming into them. Because the whole point would be, in my assumption, to get them off of this stuff. No, this is a prolonged period in which they have annual renewals for it. Now let's get back to the article here.
Like there is no mention of therapy or trying
generally promotes
rehabilitation. It's like
it was oddly silent in this.
We will give your kids drugs,
I became aware
and you won't know about it, and it's all government sanctioned at this point.
Addiction physicians contacted me shortly after their publication, as there has been zero media coverage of this development, excluding a report that I authored for the Macdonald-Laurier Institute. And we'll have a look quickly at that report. So this is a report from Adam Zivo, Reckless, British Columbia's Safe Supply Fenty tablet program.
This is disgusting.
And it's an interesting read.
It's like literally you go downtown Victoria, right by the mall, and half the time there's people like smoking crack or shooting up or under tents and
Fenty and Sufin.
This used to be like this is the capital city of BC. It should be a gem, and I don't feel safe going downtown.
Safely. In general, there is no real evidence showing that the safe supply programs
work.
Almost all of the studies that support these programs are flawed, and many of them have low quality evidence that would be unacceptable in most health care settings. They give examples. Long story short, this one, but they're basically relying on self-reporting. These people are reporting to themselves, and then the other clinical data they have
because
is
junkies
urine
are
samples.
really
And
good
the
at
urine samples,
self-reporting.
they admit themselves are not reliable because these users could be lying to them and telling them because they're let's just put
Because
it
there's
this way.
such a big
The
market
street
on,
version and the safe
for
version
it. So
look
yeah,
the same
I'll
in a
lie
lab
and
test.
say I make.
So the users could be
I
completely
use
lying
more just
using
to
the street version
resell
while
'em.
simultaneously taking this
This
version
is
that
so
they're being given.
dangerous.
So the
I don't
data is
know
completely
what.
skewed. It's not
I
reliable.
feel like they're trying to
And this is
destroy
something that they admit
BC for
themselves,
cheap real estate.
according to this. BC Safe Supply Fenty tablet protocol, I almost said the word, excerpts regarding absence of evidence, providing Fenty tablets to reduce harms associated with unregulated bad stuff use is not an evidence-based intervention.
No, it's not.
To date, there is no evidence available supporting this intervention, safety data, or established best practices for when and how to provide it. Prescribed Fenty tablets have been utilized in three problematic
Dr. Bonnie is not an addictions expert.
in
She's.
BC.
I'm gonna pause this for a second.
In the
Sorry,
different
Clyde.
locations,
But
with
Dr. Henry, our chief medical officer, said that BC has no capacity or facilities to accommodate people who are in addiction. Meanwhile, you go across the Rockies to Alberta, they have this model. You want to get clean, it's tough love, but you will get clean. And meanwhile in BC, it's, we're going to just give you all the free drugs you want. Doesn't matter your age. You could be 6. We'll just go for it because we don't really know how to treat addiction. I feel like it's gentrification. I feel like I'm in the movie The Crow, and instead of fire, they're using drugs to get rid of. I know I just said it, but it's gentrification. It happens in every city. It is a method. There are models of cities like to understand how this process happens, but right now it's really impacting Victoria. It's impacting our communities. And it's wrong, but it's also, I have gotten into it with people on YouTube because they have been saying, well, this is a provincial thing. And it's like, well, it partly is, but the federal government, it's the one who put these laws into effect as a test run. So BC is like test bunnies for this horrible policy that is destroying our city. Welcome to Victoria. Like it's turning into, I'm hoping next time I go downtown, knock on wood, I don't have to for a while, but it's a little nicer. And having to warn friends and family who don't live here. It's like, they're like, oh, Victoria's so beautiful. I love going there. And I'm like, yeah, I bet you did. So do you have a bulletproof vest? What? No. Bad jokes, but this is getting bad, and this is bad policy by the federal government, and this isn't it's being sort of swept under the carpet on mainstream news. It's wrong.
Evaluations of this novel intervention underway in these locations.
It's
a discussion
disgusting.
of the absence of evidence supporting
Absolutely
this
disgusting.
approach, and discussions of continuing care and harm reduction education. This is ridiculous. They don't have any evidence to base their claims. It is concerning that the BC government and Trudeau Liberals keep insisting to the public that safer supply is evidence-based. It isn't. But then, in the fine print of the related policy documents, quietly admit that no evidence actually exists. This is where we're at with this whole thing. And now they want to turn around and be able to give it to children, and without the knowledge of the parent. And this is where it really, really gets concerning. This is a shame, as the new protocols are full of red flags, including jarring near absent of safeguarding measures when giving Fenty to minors, to say nothing of the obvious ethical issues around underage consent. The only special requirements for underage patients is the use of two prescriber approval system, wherein one prescriber conducts the patient intake interview and the other one reviews the client's chart before signing off. So one doesn't even have to meet the kid. This is terrible. A number of addiction experts have criticized this as deeply inadequate. Dr. Lenora Regenstreff, I'm never going to pronounce that correctly, a Hamilton-based addiction physician, said she found it hard to imagine that two doctors or nurses working in the same clinic would significantly challenge each other's prescribing decisions. That is, so it's not a second opinion from another place, it's a second opinion from their colleague right next to them. This is how crazy this is. And I want to encourage everybody to go over and read this article and tell me if I'm getting this wrong, if I'm going overboard and overreacting to this. But this is just, it really is ridiculous to me that this is the extent that they're trying to go with this, trying to prove something that's not clinically proven at all. And this is just a hunch that they have that this might work, when a lot of people are saying, no, there is evidence to the contrary that this won't work. And not only that, but this will actually add to the street availability of a lot of these substances. In fact, this is what's happened with the hydro gimmick that is clearly laid out in Canada is Dying, Aaron Gunn's film, which you need to go over and watch. It's available on YouTube. You need to be 18 years to watch that, but you don't have to get consent for some of these things here in British Columbia. While some provinces set a minimum age, typically between 14 and 16-year-old, for when minors can make such decisions, British Columbia has no minimum and relies instead on a fluid idea of capability. Youth in the province are considered capable if they understand what a medical intervention involves, why it's needed, and then why it's needed, and risks and benefits. Okay, so how do we know this? Now, this
so
is
damn dangerous.
Really problematic.
This
Again,
is
the whole concept
problematic.
Of,
like, no,
informed
this
consent.
is a fucking nuclear
You
disaster.
can't even consent. Children these ages, they can't go to a school trip to the museum without a parent's
But
signature.
they can give
How is
your
it
kids
that they could
fentanyl
ever
now.
sign off or make these decisions for themselves?
You can't make
But
this
hey,
up.
I'm going to leave a link in the
Canada is this
description
bad.
down below. I hope that everybody goes over and reads this article. This is a must-have.
It's a good read.
A must-read.
Yeah.
Share it with as many
Like,
people
what
as
are we
possible.
doing
Share
out
this
here?
video so more
What are
people
we
will
doing
be
in
aware of
BC?
what's going
This
on
is
here.
just
But if it's happening here in British
levels of
Columbia, this is a
insanity
test
that-
case, and it's probably going to come to the rest of Canada.
The test case
this
that is going to
concerning,
destroy
and this is
the
why
world.
we're pushing to change who's in
This
governance
is
in
bad.
this
This
country.
is
So
a
if you want
bad
to be
policy.
at that meetup, meet us on Saturday. It's going to be between 1 and 3. Look forward to seeing you guys over there. Go sign up for Marcus
When you
Wong.
read the
Help
real
him
legislation,
become the,
it's actually
nominee
pretty
in this
damn
area.
scary.
And
Like,
well, if it doesn't
parental
matter where you are in
rights are
Canada,
disappearing.
make sure that you're engaged.
Your
in the political
children are
system,
now
'cause this
becoming
stuff
the
is
word of the
happening
state.
whether
It's
you like
almost
it or
like
not, and it's better to
the
have
whole
a say
red
in it.
school
Anyway,
system has spread
leave a
over
comment in the comment section down below. Let me
everywhere.
know what you think, and we'll see you in the next
the
one.
same
Keep
idea.
on trucking.
Like, you know, and these kids, like, we are forcing so much on them, and it's not right. Like, just let kids be kids and let parents be parents. And this is such a bad policy. Oh, this was hilarious. Speaking of drugs.
Stand behind the yellow line, please.
But, you know, smoking a joint is a long way away from fentanyl. 2.5 grams of fentanyl is enough to kill that whole train. It's the.
Alright, I'm ready to finish rolling it. Say I don't smoke on the train.
He goes globally and does little things like that. I thought that was hilarious. I sent that one to a friend who hates pot, so I was like, yeah, we're Canadian, we're dumb. It could be worse. I think I'm just trying to talk so I can even unpack it for myself, because just going to serve a government office downtown right by a mall we used to, and it just literally people, I did have footage, I don't know if it's on this channel or my other channel. The audio sucks, but it's probably for the best but you can see what's going on. It looks like Kensington. It looks like, it looks like Maine and Hastings. Ew, we're not supposed to go full Vancouver. We are the island. This one is a brilliant idea.
Nobody's gonna know. Nobody's gonna know. They're gonna know. How would they know? How would they know?
That's clever.
I just.
Fake cake. Fake cake. It is a cake date. I should have done cake as. I'll do that tomorrow. That way I have a goal for my AI art. Sometimes it's I don't even know what to make. It's just so much. And this is not anything like the prompt. And I know she has 3 legs, but it'll look like she's dancing. Oh, this one. Woohoo! Sometimes I don't know which ones are the parodies and which ones are the real ones. Global quarreling. I have a few ideas on that one, but it's bad when the Babylon Bees come in and then all of a sudden it's oh wait, that one was an actual story. Oh no. This was awesome. I like this one. I sent this one to a friend.
Well, howdy. I certainly hope that all you wonderful folks have had an amazing day. And that includes you Christian folks who periodically stop in the comment section on my videos with the leading line, "I'm a Christian." And then it would appear that God doesn't like you in the way that you talk. Or it seems to me that you're not saved. So if you come over here with me into the shadows,
he swears you won't bully.
I'm going to show you how to take a name and recite this religious incantation so that Jesus can come and relieve you of all your burdens, and forgive you for all the bullshit.
Oh, just
you've
wait
done
for
in your
it.
life.
I like
And
this
then you
one.
get to put on the
I
armor
like
of
this one.
God, and you get to come to heaven with all of us hypocritical, self-righteous, judgmental, and condemning Christian folks who have taken King James's version of the Hebrew Bible and jammed it into our armpit for stability. So
I
that we
do
can run
actually have a
around and
Bible right
tell
next to me.
everyone else that they're not as good as us and they're not allowed in our heaven. I was under the
I didn't really
understanding
want to
that
bring
Jesus
up
Christ, my Lord and
Deuteronomy.
Savior, came here,
It's kind of,
lived
it's a
a
weird
human
chapter.
life so that he could show us by
Not for
example
kids.
how to live a
No,
sinless
neither is this channel.
life
Please leave.
based on pure love, care, and compassion for everyone and everything around you. I thought that's what Jesus did. And then I thought that Jesus was betrayed. And then he was humiliated and drug out into the streets, persecuted, tortured, and then crucified. Never, ever renouncing his faith, never weakening, always staying focused on his almighty Father. I thought that's what Jesus was trying to show us how to do. And then you show the fucking hypocrisy of coming along and telling me that all I have to do is take a knee and I get a free pass? I thought Jesus was asking me to do my best to live the life that he showed me how to live. And no matter what came my way, no matter how difficult things became, that I was to endure, to show loyalty, love, fortitude, and integrity, to prove to him and my Father, his Father, that I had earned my right to put on his armor. Truth,
Amen.
and integrity,
Amen.
love, care, compassion, and fortitude. And with
Even
those
if you aren't
things,
religious,
that I had
this
earned
is
the
gonna
right in his
hit
army,
ya.
so that I could stand and defend him from the fucking evil that's trying to dethrone him. You make me fucking sick. Your hypocrisy. Your head is jammed so far up your own
This is
butt
like turning
that you
the
can't see your
tables
hypocrisy.
in the temple.
Jesus didn't die so that you got a free pass. He died to show you the way. Open your fucking eyes and your heart. I love each and every one of you. I don't call myself a Christian. I call myself a devout follower and student of Jesus Christ,
Amen.
my Lord and Savior, and my God. I'm trying the best I can to follow his lead, and even though I stumble and make mistakes, to ask him for guidance and to continue on the uphill battle of being the best man that I can be for myself.
It's all we can do.
And most
It's
certainly
all we can do.
for him and my Father. I love each and every one of you. Stay the course and resist the evil.
Amen. Amen. Sometimes it's good to pull up ones like that. Yeah, I was going to use this artwork for the introduction, and then I was like, oh my god, I'm going to get a ban again. Are there any nipple? Is there a wardrobe malfunction with my AI? Oh.
Gen Z Walmart worker girl snaps on Biden boomers, telling her to just work harder. Well, you've broken the economy forever.
It's the boomers.
You're the only ones who benefit. It's hard to not feel bad for them.
I cannot stand how the news has been dogging Gen Z and calling them lazy for not wanting to work a 9 to 5 for the rest of their lives. Let me put it in perspective for everybody who's a little confused here, okay? I work 5 days out of the week, 40 hours a week, okay? I do not make enough to live on my own. I would not make enough to pay rent, water, electric, and eat. We have nothing. You could sit here and you could call Gen Z lazy all you want, but I've been working my tail end off just to barely make it by. And respectfully, I don't want to do that for the rest of my life. And that is what you created, not Gen Z. We're just here getting started. You've been doing it for the last 20 years. You tell me how it got ruined. We can sit here and we can call Gen Z lazy all you want, but you let the economy turn into what it did. And now it's Gen Z's fault because we don't want to work to fix your mistakes.
Enough is enough!
Well, it's only going to get worse, honey. Sorry. And I don't mind working 9 to 5. I think it's good to leave the house and have a purpose every day. It's great. Maybe not a 5-hour commute like I was doing, but definitely, definitely. No, I really love my new job. Everyone's really great and it's exciting. I still had to get ready for work, so but I still have this is why I started early, just so I'd have time to actually because I get home from work and I'm just sleeping right now. It's hard being on all day. But this is good practice for retail if you're socially awkward because you have to practice talking to even just yourself. But and also like, well, I still swear a lot. I can't swear in the store. I really watch, but it's like something in my brain, like I don't know, chick brain, that little reptilian part. Like, we're in the mall. We have to behave. Like Stepford Wives, click. Sorry. No, I'm being silly. I'm just excited I got to do this, and even though it's cold outside, it's actually the signals picked up a bit because I was bouncing off of everything and everywhere except for Canada, it seemed like. I've had it sometimes playing video games and my signal gets bumped to other countries. I'm like, so is there like some parallel universe version of me that got bumped to like one? I found out it was hacking, but it was still kind of a pain because it took me 24 hours to get back. It's a long story. If you play Ingress, you understand. Oh, this was funny. And actually, it was so funny. The comment section in there is so priceless just because it became this huge international bonding moment. Like, well, what would... I think in my building they would think it's a trap. They'd be like, I don't trust it. It's we're just gonna leave it and pretend it isn't happening because it could be like a trap. No, some of the Canadians were like, yeah, we'd take the money, but we'd like say sorry, or, oh, hey, I'll get you back. I just need a double. What's that about? Sorry. On the traditional Canadian accent. So I've had there, yeah, I don't know. I hear it. And sometimes I'm like, are you just putting it on because you're trying to like sound ultra Canadian? I don't know. Or there are people who really sound like that. I think I've been watching too many Westerns, so. Hey, what's the border situation? It's like, exploring my... Okay, this one was silly. But you know what?
I'm getting ready for work. Let's style these boots the frog way. Okay, I am starting with this frog print
and you know
workout
what?
set. This is going to be
They're
like the base
so
layer. Added this neon yellow
fun
lace corset.
and
Look at the skirt situation. Obviously going with my frog tie. My lily pad necklace. The yellow spiked choker, which I've been wearing every day, helps tie in the corset. Of course, I had to add my lettuce earrings with this look, but I also added my worm earrings to give it that froggy feel. bringing this little prince as my purse. It's so cute. Finishing off with these red lenses just to tie in the lip. Here is the final froggy look.
I mean, I can't make fun of her frog purse because I used to have a rubber purse that was a chicken. So somebody said, I can't tell if people are for real. Another person said, the real life Miss Frizzle.
Mm-hmm. Some of you get that joke. Yeah. But, I mean, someone who's so unabashedly, but it's also they're not pushing any kind of political agenda on you about the way they look. They're like, I just want to dress like a frog. It's like, okay. And actually, that's a lot of effort, like that. And she looks gorgeous. Like, I don't know. I can get away with the frog, but this is going to be cool animation because I didn't pull up a lot of images about this one, but I'm going to do more because it actually is going to start looking like, and I might have to do a crossover of the graffiti and kind of GTA. I don't know, but I some of them turned out well. Oh god, this was creepy. Like, oh,
a woman walks into her home and a man with a gun tries to
also
follow
this
her
is in
inside.
Kent, Washington.
Watch again as she moves quickly, and good thing.
Kent.
After cops say she locks the door and the
Sorry.
robber can't get
It's a local
inside,
joke.
frustrated, he tears the Ring doorbell off. Police in Kent, Washington state are now looking for the gunman in connection with this attempted armed home invasion. They say it may be connected to another incident, both involving families of Asian descent.
Wow, but it is Kent. I'm sorry. See, it looks like you're coming out of the studio and into the street. It's like my... Oh god, this was... No, there is a chick who, like, really... I don't know what's going on these days. This is... No. Just no. Oh. No. There we go. Sorry. Volume malfunction. Oh god. If I go to Universal Studios, I'm paying extra for this. Whoops-a-daisy. Sorry. I think everyone needed to see that just once. So yeah, I think if I can elaborate on these, like, that looks so good. Oh god.
The store owner had this sign on, and let's just say this trans person didn't take it lightly.
No.
Well, I'm telling you, as a man, that's bullshit. Nobody confronts your ass. That's the problem. Really? You are not a chick. Do you still have a You are nuts. You're not a woman. You don't look like a woman. You don't act like a woman. Really? You're ahead. What's wrong with you? Trans women are women. Jesus Christ, man. Get a clue.
Some people think it's hurtful.
I don't give about feelings anymore. I'm 70 age. I went to Vietnam to fight for all. Do you think I care about some feelings?
Wow. Probably not. Probably not. Oh, this was weird.
I have a dream that one day every nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of the words. You will own nothing and be happy. I have a dream that one day in the mountains of Davos, the sons of billionaires and the sons of national socialists will be able to sit down together at the table of globalism. I have a dream that one day, even the United States of America, a nation infested with a spirit of freedom, a nation infested with a spirit of individual liberty, will be transformed into a prison of technocracy and transhumanism. I have a dream that mine two children will one day live under one world government, where they will not be judged by the content of their character, but by the color of their skin, gender identity, and carbon footprint. I have a dream today.
We're going to pull up some more. I still have an hour. Oh, what snack would you eat right now? Yeah, I would have pizza. And this one is just clips, but this actually might be pretty good. Yeah, 2024 to 2023, like, hold my beer. Okay, we got aliens in Miami. We got all sorts of light. Oh, and we have all these conflicts going on. Obviously, things heating up. You know. Here, let's give all our guns to the Ukraine, and because, you know, it's not like Canada borders Russia or anything. Oh my God. But this one is amazing, and I do feel like it's being kind of covered up.
That is
Well,
one big pile of shit.
I was impressed. CBC did mention it. I do watch
What's
The
up, guys?
Evil
Boy, Benny.
Empire.
Oftentimes images speak louder than words, and this is one of my favorite
He has really good audio,
meaningful
but
images
it's almost...
that have ever been created. It shows a slave master with a whip and all of the slaves bowing down, one slave standing up to the man with the whip as he screams and writhes, and as soon as that one man stands up, many others begin to join them. And then, soon, as they all stand up, the slave master is the one with the whip bowing down to the rest of them. What does this mean? Well, there can only be so many elites. That's the point of, like, elites, right? They're not populists. They're not the largest part of the population. They're often actually the worst people in society. They're often, as we are seeing now with the Epstein releases, they're often the worst people that you can possibly imagine.
Absolutely.
They're sickos, they're generous, and more importantly, they're not driven by family or love of nation, God, or country. They're driven by love of themselves and craven pursuit of power for themselves. And so that is why it is so important for us to be populists, because populists, by definition, care about the population of people. They live around their neighbors, their communities, their towns, their states, and their countries. But it really
No, I don't mean this. I mean, we're going to get snow.
What kind of a father would I be, or what kind of a parent would I be if I wasn't able to feed my family?
Snow?
I mean, that's one of Maslow's hierarchy needs: shelter and food, water to drink. Without those things, you live a terrible life and a very short life. And that is why the slave masters who wish to keep us all bowing down to them are cracking the whip above the heads of our farmers. Farmers around the world have provided a universe that is unthinkable to our ancestors, where we have too much food. For all of human history, food has been something that you can control. Go back and read your Bible. Controlling food during famine is obviously where all power comes from. And families would have to travel long distances just to beg for grain.
Yeah.
Same thing has happened throughout all of history,
things
leading up to recent history, where suddenly the paradigm flipped. because
some of the
technology
images out of Gaza are insane,
for us to
but
cultivate land,
there is literally nothing you can
we have
do
now
at this
an
point.
abundance of food. We actually give away our food. We have so much food, America gives it away to starving countries all around the world. In fact, now the problem for poorer people or the underclass is obesity and not starvation. How crazy is that? That's in one generation, we've been able to flip that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, that's still a big problem, right? And obesity is a real killer. You got to be careful about that stuff. But nonetheless, it underlies the issue that if you have a population that doesn't for their capacity for us to have easy, accessible, convenient, cheap food and an abundance of it. Because that deprives them of
There we
the power
go.
vector
We're
over
back.
us. They want us to beg them for food.
It's like I can tell when the
And what's
satellites
happening
go
right now in
over.
Germany is truly evil. Farmers brought Germany to a standstill with a Dutch-style tractor protest throughout the country on Monday in response to globalist policies of the government of Chancellor Olaf Scholz, a truly maniacal evil man, which they claim threaten their very existence in the agricultural industry. Farmers groups launched their plan to
This is like the one time, like, Germany and Netherlands are
diesel fuel and eliminate the
farmers
car
are
tax
farmers.
for farmers,
You know.
in addition to making deep cuts in subsidiaries for the farming sector. Germany, obviously, the breadbasket of Europe, a massive, as somebody who spent a lot of time in Germany and lived in Germany for a while and worked in Germany inside of an agricultural region
If
of Germany.
Chrome is lurking out
Their
there, good
ability
to
to grow and their ability to
much
produce
love.
far outpaces
And
all
also
of their neighbors.
Goran.
And the
Oh my
tech
God.
they use to grow makes Germany the most
No, I
effective
miss
farmers
him.
in all of Europe. The proposed
Dumbass
tax
fake.
increase and funding cuts came as
No,
the
I
government
love
attempted
him.
to fill
He's
a
silly.
17 billion euro hole in the
I love
budget.
silly
Although the
people.
government was willing to seek to raise money off the backs of German farmers, it was not willing to make any cuts to aid to Ukraine, which is set to double to 8 billion euros this year. Oh, that's interesting. They have a 17 billion euro deficit, but they have an 8 billion euro aid to Ukraine. So how about you stop giving money to Ukraine? And that money laundering. Oh, because that would mean the money laundering for the politicians would stop.
That's how it works.
So tax the farmers more. Ahead of the plan, we can protest the farmers.
Sorry,
the government
I was
said
like,
that it would be willing to walk
how to
back
get,
some of the
like,
farming
filling out my
subsidiary cuts and
grocery
reorganize the tax increases
list
over the next 3
moment.
years. However, German Farmers Association said that such moves would be insufficient to stave off the economic disaster facing many farmers throughout the country. Obviously, farming is like a tough job no matter where
this
you
was
are.
fun
Farming in
today.
America is almost entirely
It's actually been
subsidy-based.
nice. Like,
You could argue whether that's good or
I
bad.
do my blog,
but
I
it is.
do, and I have
Our government
more
made a
pulled
decision
up.
that we were going
I'm
to keep
always
America farming.
a lot of times
By making
these
sure
are
that we
new
always
to
have
me
food supply,
because I always
here in
they'll
this
get
country.
their view when
So
I
we can
show
never
it.
be taken
So
advantage of. Isn't that amazing how that works? So we can never have to be dependent on other countries for our food. That's like a really really smart idea.
no,
So the government subsidizes farming in America. And I think that's
but Canada doesn't have farms. It's really hard.
I hope this doesn't get clipped, but like as somebody who comes from Iowa, that's like a really good thing.
Yeah,
to a degree,
total sarcasm.
because you don't want to be dependent on other nations for your food. We don't want America to starve. Like duh, you can't take away people's food. Then you take away one of the pillars that allows for life. But that's exactly what globalists are doing to populations all around the world. Nationwide protests on Monday seen tractors shut down entrances to motorways, bridges, tunnels in various states across Germany. According to the broadcaster NTV, the farmers have closed access points to entire cities in the states of Brandenburg, including urban areas of Brandenburg and Der Havel and Cottbus. In Germany, police reported that at least 500 tractors, as well as cars, trucks, vans, descended upon the city center, blocking the street on June 17th between Victory Column and Brandenburg Gate. This is Brandenburg Gate, obviously one of the places of great prominence and a place of obviously great meaning to the German people. Production was also halted at the Volkswagen factory in Endem on Monday with tractors blocking off all access to the roads and plants and people getting to work. Good. President of the German Farmers Association said that the government was depriving agriculture of its future viability.
Yeah,
and said that the combination of rising energy costs resulting with years of green agenda combined with a war in Ukraine and proposed subsidy cuts and tax hikes would effectively close a third of the income for the average German farmer.
Oh no, it's actually like Christine Anderson. The numbers are higher.
Most farmers pretty much get by on nothing anyway.
Bad.
If you take away a third of their income, then you're toast. You have no more farmers.
You have no food, you have no farmers, you are eating crickets, you own nothing, and you will be happy.
As a spending problem rather than
fuck you, Davos.
Arguing that the government should seek to make cuts.
Like really, areas, fuck you, Davos.
I bet if you went to Germany right now, you'd be able to find a myriad of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
And we might have had some differences during, the Second War, but this one is a different front. And we're all united in it.
Citizens.
You know.
And they went on to say that the planned tax increases were the last straw for the farmers whose businesses are dying in installments.
This is dangerous territory.
Well, it looks like this is working, thank God. Because now the politicians are beginning to walk back. I mean, once you see,
can they come over and explain it to Trudeau? Because we're having problems over here.
This is the same thing. This image plus this is the same thing. This is what it looks like all across Germany. You can see here.
He's like, oh my God, I have fans.
Like, good luck moving all these. Good luck towing these tractors away.
Oh my God.
You shut down the place. This is what it looks like when people actually stand up. There are so much more of us than there are of them. German farmers have successfully blocked dozens of highways.
And we need to support them right now.
This is my view on a tractor on the A2, Europe's busiest highway. I'm blown away. This is history in the making.
This is history in the making.
Geert Wilders is the Prime Minister of the Netherlands.
If you ever see anything on social media, repost it, like it, share it.
So badly in the Netherlands.
Please help support them because this is a huge ass land grab.
Who benefits?
The Netherlands stand up.
The people who benefit is the government.
Germany's standing up, but it's
for the farmers.
It's almost so much bigger
the government
than.
Steps in. They create massive corporations. Hold on, we'll let them talk in just a second. They create massive corporate farming that they control, and then they control all.
Bingo.
Right. This is why the man won.
Of the nitrogen emission reducing policies, right? What do you think the real story is?
Bad joke. If you watch Inglourious Basterds, you get the joke.
The real aim here is to get rid of our farmers for some leftish.
We need to put all that aside because we need to stand together just for basic food. And I never thought I would have to say that in my life.
The current elite is telling the people.
I never thought I'd have to be like, whoa.
Rebel News for reporting like that. Gosh, I love Rebel News. German farmers have arrived at the largest protest in history against the government. And we are fed up. Got to tell you, as somebody who's hung out in Germany, who's lived in Germany for multiple years, this is not the nature of these people.
No, it's not. They are actually very, very.
Go along, get along, leave well enough alone. Be happy in their beautiful country.
Yeah, they
and do not really stir the pot.
Yeah, they're actually some of the
they've done it. Truckers have joined the German farmer protest. They are standing together.
Chroma's a pervert, but he's a very gentleman pervert.
We're here for the people.
I've never had a soccer so polite.
That sign read
we need to stand together against all of this.
This is shocking.
And they supported us during our truckers' protest, and
you love to see it. This is, of course, the most famous street in all of Germany, right?
This
the Brandenburg Gate through this massive park in the center of Berlin.
Love to the farmers.
Iconic location. Arguably the most iconic German location in the country is right here, and now it is completely.
I'm literally watching the clock for the count when I have to get ready for work.
I just witnessed countless German farmers.
I can see one on one screen, one on the other. I'm trying to.
A highway backed up by a huge convoy of truckers. It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen in a while. This is how you show your government who's boss. That's exactly right. God bless them. And it's working.
Bless them.
It's working. Look at this. Look at some of this drone footage.
Holy fuck.
Where German railway employees are now on a 3-day strike.
Shit.
So they're bringing the entire country to
this is insane, and this isn't getting covered. Like, I have not, like, CBC said there is. This is insane. I didn't have time to watch the whole clip. Holy crap.
Yep.
Holy crap.
Easy,
and
man.
this is
Populism's
organized. And this isn't the only war is against our governments and just taking away our basic rights to food, education,
food, safety, shelter,
pretty much.
Low taxes, a currency that functions, a banking system that functions.
That is insane.
And the ability to raise your family in peace and worship in peace. That's kind of just all people want.
Just trying to give an estimate on that crowd. That is like probably 10,000 people.
The right to bear arms. Toss that in there.
Like that is, and that is highly organized.
Nationwide German farmer blockades.
And this isn't an army. These are farmers.
Saying effectively, like, these guys aren't going away.
People like you and me
they're destroyed.
Gonna go to their job in the morning and
the politicians.
But this is going on, and it's getting swept under the carpet in the Canadian media.
Of course, many of the angles are like, wow, these are right-wing extremists.
What do you even say?
These are right-wing extremists. Of course, that's the way that they go.
Yeah, they paint you as that, but I'm
corporate propaganda. Okay. German rail strikes and farmers' protests caused disruptions in Europe's biggest economy. The vast majority of like the German.
Why? Because I'm Christian?
Huge. Look at this. Far-right concerns. You can always tell globalist press. Look at how they have to insert far-right concerns. They never say far-left concerns. They never say, well, it's the far left that got us here. They're the problem. The far left are the problem, the psychopaths that are raising the taxes, making life unlivable.
I have an evil plan.
Native populations of this country, destroying these
I'm not going to say it online.
They never say that.
No, not
so
yet.
It's far-right concerns. This is how you know this is Davos-funded.
If you're going to troll someone, you got to do it. You got to wait for the big reveal.
Follow our channel instead. German farmers and train drivers are suffering Germany's bosses.
No, I want to prank someone.
The country's industrial relations are being tested
just
like never before. Good for them. You should be scared.
He'll either like laugh his ass off,
you're messing with people's lives.
or he will be so offended he will never talk to me again.
Now it's time. You saw this in Canada. Obviously,
he'll like block me on social media.
The most effective government protest I've ever seen in my life.
I don't even want to. I don't even want to say it.
What they do during when people wanted to protest a clearly rigged election in America, they treat those people like terrorists.
Oh,
this is what happens when this dynamic is going on.
Sorry,
we're like right here.
That was like way too Mr. Burns, but
like people are
when you can prank a friend,
and we'll be here. It'll be amazing.
And it actually might take months. It actually might take months, and I don't think he considers me a friend. So that's what also makes it priceless, because.
The unrest comes as a backdrop of growing food insecurity and industrial capacity.
I think when it comes,
fears of a far-right electoral triumph,
he will appreciate it.
Yeah, that's right.
And
amazing how they always.
Well, also I'm on an island, so it's a little hard to track me down as a disgruntled veteran.
Populist is the word.
Bad jokes. Bad jokes. Don't worry. No.
Were you born on this soil? Then I
Bad jokes.
And I want you to live a good life, a secure life. I want you to be able to raise your family in peace. And I want you to be able to worship.
Just when you get one of those,
generally not really even thinking about the government, because the government isn't interfering in your life and simply providing the guardrails for security for you to eat, sleep, and go to work and live happily.
Because it's so harmless.
That is the goal. That is the system of government. The government's there to serve the people, not the other way around.
It'll be so subtle, and I won't even say when I do it.
We're right.
I won't even say when I do it.
All you need to do is continue.
Because that's the beauty of a prank like this. Like, if you were going to take months,
that are screaming at us,
It's not like it's expensive. It just has to be calculated.
And we all collectively.
It is like
by standing up for them.
Trying to get that
in a
layer of saran wrap on the toilet, just to make it.
There was a.
And you know what? The people involved will appreciate my sense of humor.
Why?
Like, it's going to be upsetting for them to see their flag.
Completely owned by the
I gave a hint.
Why has he just announced that the Netherlands, the second biggest exporter of food in the world,
I just get excited.
is targeting farmers to destroy them and get them off the land, which is where all these farming protests in the Netherlands
be awesome.
At a time of food shortages and supply chain problems, you are
do
the
measurements
second
on
biggest
it.
exporter of food in the bloody
Wow,
world.
and you have to
actually
draw up a blueprint for a prank.
Why are you doing that?
On a friend? That's actually...
If people depend on you for what's left of the food.
Even though he's not a friend, he actually probably hates me a lot.
And cheap, you do not control them. Where energy is cheap and abundant, you do not control them. Scarcity equals dependency equals control. And that's why they're targeting the food chain.
Well, Jesus was a Jew, and don't be anti-Semitic unless you want it served to you. Sorry, Krav Maga. Oh my god, I just said that. I still got... Oh my god.
We're woke. Of course I think you're a racist if you disagree with me. We're woke. Of course we believe in two genders. We just believe in 97,452 other ones as well. We're woke. Of
Also, once again,
everyone is equal.
Look at the comments.
Except for gay people, black people, trans people, and anyone else who clearly needs us to stand up for them. We are woke. Of course I love social media. How else would I find 10,000 influencers to tell me what I believe in? We're woke. Of course we believe in borders. We just believe in leaving them open for anyone at all times. We're
no
woke.
problems.
Of course I think you should pay for my student loan so I can work at Starbucks until I'm 47. We're woke. Of course I watch the fake news. The real news is too full of information and it makes me feel all icky.
Yeah, that is pretty much how it works these days. And I used to be like that. I used to be like, oh, I'm being so like... This was hilarious.
My name is Ernie Whitaker. My pronouns are I, me, he, him, she,
this
her,
was
we,
so
they,
hilarious.
us. Sometimes I even use Shakespearean pronouns, which are thee, thou, thy, thyself, and ye.
I love satire. I love satire, and this was a brilliant piece.
As you all know, the trans movement
Once again,
is the
if you're
fastest growing movement out
offended,
there, so I figured,
there's some
why not
cat
get involved in
videos
the
out there
ground
for
level and use
you.
it to my advantage?
Bubble
For instance, whenever
wrap,
I'm late to
you
work,
go
which happens
hard.
a lot, I'm
You
not
go
gonna lie, I just self-identify as translate. Not translate like the language translate, but you guys know what I'm talking about. That's
Are
someone
you
who's late,
allowed
but
to do
identifies
that
as
at
being on
work?
time.
Like, identify
I thought of
as
that one myself.
translate?
I'm not gonna lie, it is challenging having somebody like Ernie in the office.
No, I won't. But
due to diversity requirements.
I still have
we have
time.
to have
That's why I started
him,
my stream
she,
early.
her, we, they.
I just...
Don't forget about us.
I needed to kind of warm up before I talk to all the customers.
Around lunchtime, I identify as Sasha, which is a 45-year-old Russian prostitute. Being Sasha has many perks. For one, I get to use the women's bathroom, which is great. I mean, obviously. It's way cleaner than the men's bathroom. And my female co-workers are very accepting and understanding.
Sasha craps like a wild boar. Sometimes I have to pee outside in the bushes because I can't handle the smell. It's nauseating.
Oh, no. This has become a real thing.
I totally support this whole trans movement. If a guy wants to be a girl, I respect that. And to be completely honest, I haven't been on a date in over a year, so I'll take anything I can get. Anything.
I also love all the attention I get. Who wouldn't? I mean, we are in a recession, so I have to find ways to supplement.
Oh my god, this is killing me.
Go capitalism. I love
Go capitalism.
It's your time. I'm also
Oh my god, this is...
That's why I identify as a tree. It's
So do I.
because
He's
get to be outside,
stealing.
which I
He's
love,
stealing
but
my act.
It does backfire sometimes.
Oh my god, I'm so offended because I was a tree way before he was.
After lunch, I identify
And
as
I've never been
trans
peed on
That's someone who identifies as being handicapped.
for less than
I do
5K.
this purely to get out of working a few hours of the day. Huh?
Over here, Ernie.
Yes.
You know you're not lying.
Just to put it out there.
Can you not? I don't
No, bad jokes, bad jokes.
Ray Charles.
Later in the day, I identify as transracial and become a black dude from Brooklyn. My name is Tyrone, but my boys call me Tyrese. You feel me? Brooklyn, stand up.
Sarah, want to do lunch?
Shut up, white boy. I'm trying to shoot. Damn. Yo.
I have that hat. Oh my god, I found it outside of like the baseball park. It's like a little kid's and it's like small, so it fit me. It's wonderful, and I have like
that's identifying as not being
Poppy
present.
on it. It's great.
I do this to get myself out of sticky situations, just like this. And lastly, I like to identify as a transformer. More than meets the eye.
I know. See, I wanted to do that as a kid as well. I wanted to be a transformer. I don't, I can understand.
Oh my goodness, y'all. He absolutely nailed it. I know that might trigger some snowflakes and hurt some feelings out there, but that is what it is. That is gooder than chicken right there.
I
For real.
I
God
really
bless
hope he
my man
doesn't give
Vinny
me
from
a
the PBD
copyright
podcast. That
strike
was who was
for
acting
sharing
that
his
whole thing out in case you
content,
didn't
but
catch on. It was complete
I think there's a
comedic
little bit
relief.
of
That's
truth
what that was
right
supposed
here.
to be, kind of a reenactment.
Oh, like,
just to display how insane this world
I
we're
know,
living in
it's-
is. And
it's
Patrick
gotten
Bet-David
so
and all
dumb.
of Valuetainment,
It's gotten
I
so
love what
dumb,
they're
I
doing
don't
over there.
even
Great
know
job. That was absolutely hilarious
where
and
to
genius,
go
because I
or
don't care
what to
what the
do.
Kevin Harts or the Cat Williams of the world are talking about anymore. This is the kind of breath of fresh air, trans fluid, unlimited genders on a spectrum sort of craziness. It's here, so we might as well take advantage of the situation. We might as well have some fun and bring some levity to this
I
delusional
think
world
we
that
should
we're living
start
in. And obviously,
inventing
the goal
other
is to
genders.
get people away from our kids and
I
get
think
them some
we
mental
should
health. But
start
some folks are
inventing
just
other
so far
genders.
gone.
I like
It
this
seems
idea.
like all you can do is
No,
laugh and pray for
I
them. And maybe
really
I'm
like.
wrong for that, but these
I
are
mean,
the
I'm
choices
a
that they
woman,
made. Not
obviously,
me, not you.
but
I'm not playing the game.
you
I'm
know,
not about
can
to go
I
along with anybody's
identify
transmission,
as
especially when they start thinking and identifying
a
as
flower?
Bugatti Super Sports or McLarens, and they think they got
So,
this transmission
my
that can produce an
pronouns
engine that
would
purrs
be
like a kitty
flora
cat.
and fauna.
Not in here, though. Not up in here. We ain't playing along with that fairy tale. Like, do
I
whatever
might spit
perverted
poison
weirdo
like
things
an
that you want to
audit
do in
from
private. Just don't
Pokemon.
bring those lies out in public or in front of our children.
Let's make
Not
this
anywhere
work.
close
Like,
to them.
let's
That's when it becomes an
invent
issue. And I
more.
have to
I
step
think
in and
we're
address
going
the
the
problem.
wrong
Like, I don't
way.
just judge off outward appearances. You could dress up and put on the hair, the nails, and do whatever flamboyant
Hormone
rainbow warrior
surgery.
things that you want to. It's when
Mutilate
you start
your body.
acting out those perverted lusts and intentions
And
and
it's
putting that in
not
front of
even-
kids. That's when we got big problems. And we can laugh, we can love,
I
and
think
we speak
the
the truth
only
on this channel always. So while I thoroughly
problem
enjoyed watching that
is
skit, got a
you
ton of
are
laughs
not
out of
being
it, I'm also
authentic.
not afraid to challenge evil
Like, if this
right
is
to its
how
face
God
and
made
get
you,
down to business
then
when it
there's no
rears its
problem
ugly
with
head.
you
That's my job as a Christian.
putting
And as long as I live as
on
God is my
dress
witness,
up.
that's what
But
I'm
when
going
you
to
take
continue
it
to do.
to the
Because there's only
surgery
male
level,
and female, and you can't change what the Almighty made you as in your mama's womb. What He created you
on a
as is
different
what
level.
you are, and He don't make mistakes.
I might
Men
get
and women
shit
are
on
supposed to be
YouTube.
together in marriage, not two of the same kind. And there's only one combo that can bring a baby blessing, a new life into the world, and it ain't Tyrone and Tito or Susie and Samantha. So I pray that
Although
all these
I don't mind a little
LGBTQIA
of
plus,
that.
all those folks, the drag queens, the twisted parents, going along with this foolishness, I hope they all
Just
find
saying.
Jesus Christ and repent of their sins before it's too late, so that they can experience what real freedom is and have that real contentment, and the Holy Spirit come into their heart and transform their lives. That's what it's all about. And
The ultimate peace and gift from God is right there. You just got to be willing to take it. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to these folks that are living in this next level, outer intergalactic dimension. I can't even make sense of it. It doesn't connect to my brainstem. It makes no sort of comprehensive, logical sense whatsoever. Hey, where there's a will, there's a way. 1 John 5, verse 11 through 13 says, and this is the testimony that God gave us eternal life. And this life is in his Son. Whoever has the Son has life.
Some people can like pull them up. I am not one of those people who can just pull up any Bible scripture
that you have eternal life.
Right off.
The only way, the only narrow path that leads to life is through Jesus Christ, the Son.
I can with my other
your
Bible.
Thoughts down below in the comment section.
Oh, I'll get
Let's
you
keep this
Solomon.
conversation rolling. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if
Solomon
you're not already.
is,
Ring that
if you're Christian, you get the joke.
Anytime I post a new video. If you like what I'm doing over here and you want to show a little extra love and support, make sure you go check out our website down below in the description section. That way you can get all the awesome shirts you see me wearing in every single video. They're all made by my beautiful wife. This one says created with a purpose. It has it on the chest and on the sleeve. It's based on Ephesians 2 verse 10.
Oh my
I like
God.
mine a little baggy, so it seems a little extra room to move and groove.
You are,
we got all different sizes, ranging from itty-bitty, extra small to big and hefty 5X.
This guy was
wonderful. Different designs,
like
all
and
of that. I'm sure you can find something that you like or a great gift for someone that you love. Outside of that, you can always join the Gibson family here on YouTube and become a member. You can buy me a coffee. You can join the Patreon
and I'm not
family.
trying
all
to
those
force
links are down
Christianity
below as well. By
on
no
you
means do you have to do any of that.
because
Just
I
showing
love
up and allowing my
Buddhism.
freckle face to brandish you for a few minutes. I am greatly appreciative.
I love
y'all. I
Krishna.
cannot thank you enough. Until next time, I'll be praying for you.
I really did say that. Yeah, I did.
I'm gone.
And I even love Vala, the prophet. But it's like, I don't like how all these religions are being interpreted. Because when you actually talk to people from different faiths, they're all chill and everything. It's like, they're like, no, wow, you think that about my religion. It's like, And they're like, so you're Christian, right? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, I'm like, I know, it's awkward. It's awkward. We don't have a great history with all of. But wasn't that what Jesus was supposed to reconcile? Oh God, this little dog reminds me so much of my Zeus. I had a boy, but she is so good and just so, they are smart and loyal. And honestly, you would not believe, but my dog was about that size, and I lived in the bush, and I'm still alive. Because, I don't know what it is about their attitude. They just, I used to call them bear bait because I could probably get a good spiral off them if a bear ever came, but I would see paw prints when I was going through the trails and stuff, and I would take them on 4 to 8 kilometer hikes. If I carried him out to the bush, he would get me home. It's actually better than Hansel and Gretel with breadcrumbs. Just have a little devoted dog to a couch and TV. But this is why you have dogs. When you live in the country, they are service animals. And some people would say that was cruel to do to your dog, but it's no, this is why he was there. I'm in the bush. This is why you have dogs and service animals and horses even. you know, and I just miss him. I'd love a little dog. But this isn't the place for it. Well, if he was tiny like Zeus, he could probably make it. But Zeus for a Chihuahua was so quiet. Because my great grandma had Chihuahuas. Long story. But it's kind of a family tradition to have a purse rat. Sorry. Bad jokes. But that's what they become. And people don't think they're animals. And my great grandma had Chihuahuas. And so when I had Zeus, my mom's like, how is he so quiet? Like, he only would bark at the door, or there was one time and he started nibbling on all the plants because I'd been away and they were taking care of him. And so he had like little anxiety issues. So he started destroying my mom's plants, and I'm like, and she's like, no, it's so cute. It's so cute. Don't worry about it. I'm like, Mom, you can't encourage. And I know he was acting out, and I think it was like grandma revenge. I really do. Like, oh yeah, don't worry, I'm gonna replace those anyways. I like embarrassing you about the behavior of your kid. Your fur baby, you know. He wasn't used to indoors. Well, okay, and I was away for like 2 days. I had business, and you know, it was over the holidays, and I'm really sorry, but whatever. What can you do? Because he was so good with my nephew. Like, when they saw each other, it was like out of like one of those Hollywood moments, like little boy meets puppy, and just like they both were like so shocked, and they just like, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, you're the same size as me. I'm trying to get all my talking out of my system. I still got half an hour. So I can't stay longer, and I don't even know if I'll be able to stay awake too long. I can maybe push it to 7:30, but I don't know if I still have homework and shit, so I know homework. Yeah, I know the way I put it is like enthusiasm, but I got this. I got this exam. I shouldn't feel. And yeah, see, I was talking about these. And this is nuts. Oh God, this one, I feel so. I feel so bad for this woman.
Saying that
I feel so bad for this woman. Don't be offended. Wait it out. You'll understand. Because I've had my moments as well. It's like
my heart was just beating outside of my chest. I've always made it a point to tell the school that if my daughter leaves with someone outside of ourselves, that they need to contact us.
Just wait for it. I feel like it this morning.
He was tall, stubby, looked like he was out of shape. His hair was
fragile. Oh, snap.
It was.
That's.
Oh my God.
Just wait for it. Just wait for it before you get all afraid.
My heart started beating. I started whimpering. I was shocked. It was me without my wig.
It was me without my wig. I know the feeling. I totally know the feeling. I'm like, oh my God, I want my wig and my hat and all my makeup, but I can't do that at every job. But at my new job, I can, so I'm gonna look all fancy for a bit. No, bad joke. I'm being silly.
Shocking news here. It's now being reported that an illegal immigrant who was released back into the country is now being accused of abusing a minor.
Oh my God, I'm so shocked.
Illegal immigrant
That would never happen.
Is capable of hurting a child. However,
I'm so shocked. This is obviously fake
immigrants
news.
who are apprehended are just released back into the country. The fact of the matter is, we don't know who is and who is not a criminal. Oftentimes, these people are not coming over with papers. How are we supposed to vet them when we don't actually know who they are? When conservatives or just people who are not insane complain about illegal immigration as a problem, leftists love to throw out terms like racist, xenophobic, and bigot.
No, I'm sorry. This is
just about basic common sense.
This is basic common sense. Like
and unless it has control,
like
say over
what
who does
the
and
hell
does
is
not
going
enter.
on
This is
down
about
there?
safety.
And you better
This is about
fix it because I got enough problem with Russia at the top. I don't need something at your border. I kind of want to keep it open in case I have to escape. So, and taking the Northwest Passage to Siberia, like, I hate to say it, but sometimes I think about it. I'm like, what? It'd only be a few months. It'd be a real cold, but it's better than Trudeau. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Oh, wow.
And we need immigrants in this country. Forget the fact that the vegetables would rot in the ground if they weren't being picked by many immigrants, many illegal immigrants.
Okay, let's just start. This is actual footage. I wish this was made up.
Where's the labor?
Yeah. Why are you shipping these
Like, so apparently we can't
to pick the crops
get people
So I
out.
pick the grapes.
And I
you
know,
would want
I've worked
Chardonnay
on
grapes
farms. It's
that are
hard
cut-
work,
picked
but
raw. They're not getting picked with the beautiful hands, okay, that handle the grapes correctly. They're getting picked like a week too late. That makes bad Chardonnay. It goes all the way back to the founding of the Democrat Party. We need them to pick the crops. It's always been the issue for Democrats.
yeah, that I've worked on farms, and that is exactly how it works. It's actually disturbing how some of these policies go through. And I'm totally for farms and, obviously. But when you see the other side of the farming industry, which is, when it's an industry, it becomes, things happen. And, oh God, this was hilarious. My 72-year-old mother just informed me she is going to her first sex party and doesn't know what to bring. After some delicate questioning, gender reveal, Mom. It's called a gender reveal. No, it's not a sex party. Yeah. No, this really happens. Probably more common than you want to know. No, sorry, Mom. No, I know you were all excited about some latex, but it's probably going to be a cake. Oh, conservative MP and ethics critic Michael Barrett is urging the interim conflict of interest and ethics commissioner Conrad Winrich von Frink. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, no, let's take two. Conrad von Frankenstein to promote Prime Minister. Yeah, I definitely think we need. I can't pronounce your name, but yes, we need a probe into this. Sorry. I'm like 6 years old sometimes. No, and you know, the worst thing is he is such a good government official, but I can't like pronounce his name without laughing. And probably my official last name is something bad in Romanian. I don't even want to know. I kind of figured some of it out, but I don't. Yeah, it was absolutely corruption. Yeah, no, get a smaller bike. I think she borrowed that one or stole it. I'm not sure. Oh God, this is insane.
Documents show the Liberals did absolutely no economic assessment on the single-use plastics ban. However, you'd have to be an idiot or a Trudeau to think you can phase out a portion of a $40 billion annual industry without harming it. Do you remember this great Canadian heritage moment?
And what do you and your family do to cut back on
plastics?
Our
great dictator, speaking moistly.
Recently switched to drinking water bottles out of when we have water bottles out of plastic. Away from plastic towards paper.
Cocaine is hell of a drug, kids.
Like
just warning you.
There's a number of choices we can make as consumers.
That was our Prime Minister attacking the Canadian oil and gas industry by proxy and not expecting a difficult question from a journalist about it. Trudeau is announcing a ban on single-use plastics here in Canada and explaining that the government would do the absolutely unscientific thing of reclassifying the sterile, inert petrochemical byproduct as a Schedule 1 toxin in Canada, along with asbestos, lead, mercury, and other such poisons. Now, thankfully, the ban on single-use plastics and the attack on the approaching $40 billion
Stephen Guilbeault shouldn't even be in the House of Commons.
Was recently
he is a convicted criminal.
However,
he shouldn't even be in the House of Commons.
Completely disregarding
he's an eco-terrorist. He did bad lifestyle choices, and he shouldn't even be in the House of Commons and making laws on my behalf. But apparently this little dickhead is who shouldn't even be in the House of Commons. He's, you know, there used to be rules that if you were convicted of a crime, you couldn't be in office. I don't know what happened. Welcome to China, like, fuck this.
Is a tax on all who buy the food. Now he wants to quadruple the tax. I'm Pierre Poilievre. I'll axe the tax so you pay less and bring home more.
In the name of saving the whales, the turtles, the trees? What are we saving here? Anyway. Now, I wonder if Guilbeault truly believes my plastic straws here in Alberta were ending up in the rivers of trash flowing in India. But in that clip that I showed you in the beginning of Justin Trudeau, it's clear that the Prime Minister had never considered the use of plastics in his own life, not even once. And he definitely didn't expect a member of the Trudeau colonized mainstream media to ask an actual tough question. You can see it caught him flat-footed, even more than normal. And besides not considering how plastic supports Trudeau's own comfortable lifestyle, he also never considered the impact on the industry of the plastics ban. Just look at this. It's right here on the Proactive Release website of previously filed access to information requests, now released to the general public if you care to look for them. Someone, and it wasn't me, asked Environment and Climate Change Canada in November 2023 for all records showing discussion of or the studying of the economic effects of the plastics ban from September 1st, 2022. And look at this. There were 0 documents. The Liberals didn't even consider how many Canadians the ban would put out of work or out of business, or the impact of this ban on a nearly $40 billion annual industry. The Liberals only cared about that press conference that they hoped would go well and make an international splash until Trudeau opened his mouth and uttered that idiotic phrase, drink box, water bottle, sort of thing. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn-Reid.
Sorry. Oh my god, so I'm just trying to get ready for work and I miss sometimes when these things end. I will get back to the next one. There we go. This was kind of nuts. Where's that off? This is nuts.
The victims to the floor, kicking and punching some of them.
Holy crap.
For 15 minutes before it was cut off.
This is so scary.
Growing chaos in the country.
Yeah. Like, imagine you're just trying to be there as a reporter and it's like, oh my god, I'm gonna die.
It's glued to this TV because some gang took over the TV station.
Terrifying violence coming after Ecuador's president, Daniel Noboa, has declared a 60-day state of emergency and curfew order following the prison escape of notorious gang leader Adolfo Macias, known as Fito.
In any kind of danger or anything like that, but it's just like, we're not going to stick around and see. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be out of here like we're supposed to be.
No, some of this is just, I know it's hard for people to hear, but some of this also is just, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Give me a second. I did something with my screen. There we go. Oh my god. No, I'm not wanting the volume. Don't do that. Stop it. This is nuts. Like, hey, here we go.
Check this story out. This is the viral story of the day, and I don't know how much coverage it's going to get on mainstream because it doesn't fit the narrative. This is absolutely, completely freaking bananas. At James Madison High School in Brooklyn, take a look at this. Breaking. James Madison High School, Brooklyn has informed parents that tomorrow classes will be remote. Why? Because a group of 2,000 illegal aliens are being transferred to New York City and will be sleeping in the school's gym. Americans are being deprived of an education to cater to illegals.
Much.
Council member Ina Vernikov released a statement blasting the decision. That's from the libs of TikTok. And now let's just check out some of the video. These are illegal immigrants, migrants, whatever you want to call them, but they are illegal. Here they are pouring into this school and its gymnasium in Brooklyn last night. so much here. It's like, it's just incredible. Okay, so first off, the basic idea that we are now, after everything we know, after the 3 years of all of that COVID bullshit, we are having kids in Brooklyn kicked out of their own school to learn remotely, and we know that means basically not learning, so that 2,000 illegals can be, housed at this school in and of itself is crazy. These people should not be in the country. That is not to say that those kids are not nice and cute and everything else, but they should not be here. By the way, that school normally has metal detectors at those doors for the kids to walk through, the normal students from Brooklyn to walk through, the usual students. Somehow those metal detectors disappeared as the illegal migrants were walking their way through. Anyway, Elon Musk saw this video, and he had this to say: "This is what happens when you run out of hotel rooms. Soon cities will run out of schools to vacate, then they will come for your homes."
Yeah, like some of this is getting real down there. Oh, okay, now I have like 2 screens. I'm not sure what I'm doing with them. Oh, this was nuts. This was a nuts story. Oy vey. Why is all my volume off? Oh god, every freaking thing is a sign from God.
It was called to a location best known as a sacred site for the Chabad Lubavitch Orthodox Jewish sect. Authorities say a group of Jewish men who had a long simmering disagreement burrowed through tunnels under several buildings to break into the synagogue. They got into fights and destroyed fixtures.
The cement truck was here, and these individuals or some of their friends perhaps, who broke through some of those adjoining properties, disrupted the repairs, and ultimately broke through the wall in the sanctuary and vandalized that wall as well. They've since been arrested.
Repairs have been underway for some time, as had the digging. The disruptor group reportedly stored their tools and equipment several buildings away in an unused mikvah, a large same-sex communal ritual bath space. Sources tell Fox 5 that forensic engineers and inspectors are investigating the structural integrity of surrounding buildings to make sure that they're safe.
This is obviously very distressing for the Lubavitch community and around the world, and Jewish people everywhere. This is a site that's of great importance for Jews all around the world, and we're looking forward to the decorum and sanctity to be restored.
Rabbi Yehuda Krinsky, chairman of the Chabad Lubavitch headquarters, said in a statement, the Chabad Lubavitch community is pained by the vandalism of a group of agitators who damaged the synagogue. The NYPD tells us that 12 men were arrested on a variety of felony and misdemeanor charges. A spokesperson for the Department of Buildings says building inspectors and forensic engineers are on the site and that they've opened an ongoing investigation. In Crown Heights, I'm Lisa Evers, Fox 5 News.
Like, that one's nuts. Oh my goodness. Like, wait, like, what is going on? Because that one's... And in Victoria, BC, we have tunnels. But, so maybe that's why I'm fascinated with it, and I pulled up that story. I just, like, you have tunnels? But it's not the good one? Oh, boy. I don't even want to pull up that one. I don't want to make... I will. It's only little. No pun intended. Bad jokes. Bad jokes. Is it playing? Okay, that was a short one. Unfortunately. Give me a second. You can tell the people who are coming into work who have Like real jobs, no pun intended. Tampons for troops, yeah. And why does this keep doing this? It like is keep blocking me. It will
There
not
is
play
a
volume,
material that you
but
could heat up and create negative ions.
The concept that tourmaline crystals can promote happiness by emitting negative ions made me think of a quote from Nikola Tesla. In a crystal, we have clear evidence of the existence of a
they
formative
actually
life
can.
principle.
It's like
And
being
though
by
we
the
cannot
ocean.
understand the life of a
Ocean
crystal,
creates
it is
negative
nonetheless
ions
a living
just with
being. This topic
the currency
really
of
caught my attention.
the waves.
So I started
And
looking into the mysteries of crystals.
some of
I'm
this,
telling you, I found powerful information. So please, stay with me. Your mind will be blown. Before we
I
explore
might get a
Tesla's
strike
ideas
for
about
this,
crystals,
but
let's
I'm
first
gonna
understand
just
more
keep
about
pulling this
tourmaline
up.
crystals and
I know
negative
it's like
ions.
hippie moment, but I'm also trying to get ready for work.
Structure such that if you heat it and cause it to expand, it will actually develop an electric
And I really
charge on the
like this
faces
article.
of the
Like
crystal. You have discharges between those faces, break down in air, and
I
forming
like
neutrons.
understanding
And that charge then
chemistry
can be
and
transferred to any organic
why
molecule
some of
present in the air.
these
5
crystals
degree changes
and
enough to
stones
generate
work like the way they
Tourmaline
do.
crystals are highly regarded
Like
in both
rubies
scientific
for
and
lasers.
esoteric circles for their unique electrical
There you
properties,
go.
particularly
Yeah,
their
yeah.
ability to emit
This is
negative
fascinating.
ions. This characteristic of tourmaline sets it apart from other crystals and has made it a subject of interest in various fields of study. Negative ions are atoms or molecules with more electrons than protons, giving them a net negative charge. These ions are naturally abundant in certain environments like mountains, waterfalls, and beaches, especially where water is in motion.
I said it.
It's the reason why these
See, I
natural
said it.
settings often
And
feel
I actually
refreshing
have a
and
tourmaline
invigorating. In the context of
beads
tourmaline,
I'd like
the crystal is
to
known to produce negative
make
ions
into
under
new
certain
jewelry.
conditions,
I
such
got
as
some
when heated or
amazing
put under pressure. A
glow-in-the-dark
phenomenon known
thread.
as
And I know that sounds
piezoelectricity.
weird,
The
but
emission
having
of
like
negative ions by tourmaline is believed to
abalone
have
and beach
several beneficial
shells,
effects on the human body and
it'll look
mind.
like
One of the primary
phosphorescence
claims is the
when I'm
impact
done.
on mood and overall well-being. It's often suggested
It's
that
gonna be
exposure to
amazing.
negative ions can
I
enhance
actually
feelings
have
of happiness and
a
reduce feelings of
proper
depression or
like
anxiety. This
necklace
belief is
frame,
somewhat
so
supported
when
by
I'm
studies
planning
that
out
indicate
a beading
negative ions in the environment
project,
can
now
have
I
a
can
positive
do it
effect on mood and
properly.
psychological well-being.
Not
Crystals
just
that
like
share similarities with
kind of
tourmaline in terms of
MacGyvering it.
emitting negative ions and promoting
This is gonna be
well-being
so
include
amazing.
amethyst, citrine, and
I
clear
want it
quartz.
to look
Like
like
tourmaline, these
phosphorescence
crystals are
floating
believed to
in
have the
water.
ability
So
to emit negative ions, which are thought to contribute to feelings of happiness and overall
and I
well-being.
love
Amethyst is known for its deep purple hue
shells
and is
and
highly valued for its
stones and
purported
everything.
ability
So
to purify and
this is gonna be
transmute negative
amazing. I
energy
can't
into
wait for
positive
this
energy. It
project.
is often used in spaces to create a calming and soothing environment, which can
It
indirectly
really
contribute
does.
to a sense of happiness and contentment. Citrine, with its bright yellow color, is often associated with positivity and joy. It is believed to emit a frequency that promotes optimism and can help uplift the mood. Citrine is commonly used in practices aimed at attracting abundance and personal development. Clear quartz, known as a master healer, is thought to amplify the energy of other crystals and the intentions of the user. Its capacity to emit negative ions is believed to enhance mental clarity and emotional stability, thereby contributing to an overall sense of happiness and well-being. The advent of X-ray crystallography was a game-changer in understanding the mysterious inner workings of crystals. This technique, which involves directing
is
X-rays to the
amazing.
crystal to
I know
observe the
a nerd
diffraction
moment,
pattern,
but
has
this is
uncovered
amazing.
intricate details about the atomic and molecular structure of crystals. Before this technology, the knowledge about the internal structure of crystals was based mostly on observation and hypothesis. With X-ray crystallography, scientists could finally see the exact arrangement of atoms inside crystals. They discovered that crystals are not
So now
just
they're
random
able to grow
assemblages
it,
of molecules,
but
but highly ordered structures
structures with atoms arranged in a repeating pattern, forming a lattice. This lattice structure explains many of the physical properties of crystals, such as their shapes, growth patterns, and how they break. One of the most significant findings was the discovery of the structure of common triple salt, sodium chloride. X-rays showed that sodium and chloride ions are arranged in a simple cubic structure, alternating with each other, which explains why salt crystals tend to form cubes. X-ray crystallography also revealed the complex structures of more intricate crystals like diamonds and quartz. In diamonds, carbon atoms are bonded in a strong tetrahedral lattice, making it one of the hardest natural substances. Quartz, on the other hand, has a trigonal crystal structure with silicon and oxygen atoms creating a spiral-like arrangement which is related to its piezoelectric properties, electric charge generated under mechanical stress. The most revolutionary discovery made using X-ray crystallography was the double helix structure of DNA. This finding, which unveiled the structure of the genetic material in living organisms, was crucial in understanding how genetic information is stored and transmitted. Crystals have been linked to ancient power sources in various esoteric and occult traditions. These traditions suggest that ancient civilizations had a deep understanding of the energetic properties of crystals far beyond what is recognized in modern science. The most commonly cited example is the use of crystals in ancient Egypt. Hieroglyphs and artifacts suggest that Egyptians used crystals like quartz in their jewelry and burial practices, believed to be not just for decoration, but for their power to connect
into a little
the
bit
world
of ancient aliens
realm.
with
Some
this one. Like,
scholars
I'm
argue
sorry,
that
let's just
Egyptians
pause.
used the
I know, it's like some of these series are out there, but some I'd be interested to see if there is any validity to it. I mean, I've seen weird things with stones. Like, I literally saw a quartz crystal regrow, and it's still growing. It's kind of creepy, but I'm just letting it exist in my place right now. It's okay. It's creepy, but it's regrowing.
The crystals in their lighthouses, harnessing their ability to focus and amplify light.
I might
in Atlantis,
actually
a legendary island mentioned by the philosopher Plato, crystals are said to have played a central role. Occult texts describe Atlanteans as having used large crystals to harness energy from the sun, the stars, and the ether. A kind of invisible energy field. These crystals were supposedly used to power machines, heal illnesses, and in rituals to attain higher states of consciousness. Tibetan and Vedic texts also speak of the use of crystals. They were believed to be tools for spiritual development, aiding in meditation and enlightenment. Some texts suggest that these cultures had detailed knowledge of the vibrational properties of different crystals, using them to balance energies in the body and the environment. The idea that crystals could store and transmit energy is central to their perceived role as ancient power sources. This concept is somewhat mirrored in modern technology, where silicon crystals are used in computer chips and quartz is used in watches for its precise vibrational frequency. Furthermore, crystals have been linked to the concept of ley lines, invisible lines that crisscross the Earth. Occult practitioners believe that ancient civilizations built their structures like the pyramids and Stonehenge on these lines. They theorized that crystals were used to tap into these ley lines, harnessing the Earth's natural energy. Another fascinating aspect is the purported use of crystal skulls. Found in various parts of the world, these skulls, often made of quartz or amethyst, are thought to be ancient artifacts imbued with vast knowledge and history. Some occultists believe that these skulls were used in ceremonies to access higher wisdom and to connect with otherworldly realms.
In a crystal, we have clear evidence of the existence of a formative life principle, and though we cannot understand the life of a crystal, it is nonetheless a living being. Tesla believed that crystals, particularly quartz, could be used to amplify and transduce energy. This belief was rooted in the piezoelectric properties of quartz, its ability to generate an electric potential in response to applied mechanical stress. Tesla experimented with crystals, aiming to harness these properties for wireless transmission of energy and communication. One of Tesla's lesser-known inventions involved the crystal oscillator. He theorized that a crystal, when cut to the right shape and size and subjected to electric current, could produce a consistent oscillatory frequency. This concept was crucial in the development of radio and other wireless technologies. Tesla's work laid the groundwork for the use of crystal oscillators in modern electronics, such as watches, radios, and computers. Tesla was also fascinated with the potential of crystals for storing and retrieving information. He speculated that crystals might be used to capture and replay thoughts or images akin to a primitive form of recording technology. Although this idea was ahead of its time and not realized in his lifetime, it anticipated future technologies that use crystalline structures for data storage. In his more esoteric pursuits, Tesla considered crystals as tools for tapping into universal energy patterns. He believed that the Earth itself was a giant crystal, resonating with its own frequency, and that by understanding this frequency, one could harness the Earth's energy. This concept aligns with the occult beliefs in ley lines or energy grids of the Earth, with crystals acting as conduits or amplifiers of this energy. Tesla's interest in the vibrational properties of crystals extended to their potential healing properties. He experimented with high-frequency electrical currents, Tesla coils, and their interaction with crystalline structures, exploring the possibility of using these frequencies for therapeutic purposes. Quartz crystals are vital in technology due to their unique physical properties, particularly their piezoelectric effect. This effect means that quartz can generate an electrical voltage when subjected to mechanical stress. This property is pivotal in creating precise and stable frequency standards. In electronic circuits, quartz crystals are used as crystal oscillators. The consistent oscillation of quartz under an electric field makes it ideal for keeping time in watches and clocks. This same principle is applied in computers and mobile phones, where quartz regulates the frequency of electronic circuits, ensuring accurate operation. Another significant technological application of quartz is in radio frequency transmission and reception. Quartz crystal oscillators are used to generate stable carrier waves for radios and televisions. They're also crucial in the functioning of cell phones, where they help in signal transmission and reception, ensuring clarity and reducing signal loss. In addition, quartz is used in the manufacturing of electronic components like resonators and filters. Its ability to resonate at specific frequencies is employed to filter out unwanted frequencies and stabilize signal transmissions.
Didn't pull it up
Quartz
for a while,
thermal
but
stability is
I
another reason.
Oh my goodness, like, this is brilliant to listen to.
For its importance in technology, it can maintain its crystalline properties over a wide temperature range, making it reliable in various environmental conditions. Masaru Emoto's research on water has captured the imagination of many, particularly in the realms of spirituality and alternative medicine. His experiments primarily involved exposing water to different types of stimuli such as words, thoughts, music, and prayer, and then freezing it to observe the crystalline structures in the ice. Emoto claimed that positive stimuli produced beautiful, well-formed crystals, while negative stimuli resulted in distorted and irregular formations. This led him to conclude that water could respond to emotional energies and intentions. Although Emoto did not specifically incorporate crystals in his initial experiments, his findings had interesting correlations with the practice of water infusion with crystals. In the world of crystal healing and alternative therapies, it is believed that crystals can impart their energies into water, altering its physical and energetic properties. This concept, while not directly derived from Emoto's work, shares the underlying premise that water is receptive to external energies and can be influenced by them. Crystals, each with their unique vibrational frequencies, are thought to transfer these frequencies to water when they are immersed in it. For example, rose quartz, associated with love and emotional healing, is believed to infuse water with these qualities. Similarly, amethyst, known for its purifying and protective properties, is said to transfer these energies to water, potentially enhancing its quality and the well-being of those who drink it. The practice of infusing water with crystals often involves placing clean, safe crystals directly in water or in a surrounding container where their energetic influence can be imparted without direct contact. Proponents of this practice believe that just as Emoto's experiments showed water's responsiveness to emotional energies, the water can also adopt the energetic imprints of the crystals. This idea aligns with the broader concepts in energy medicine and holistic health, where the subtle energetic influences of objects and intentions are considered significant. While the scientific community remains skeptical of these claims due to the lack of empirical evidence and standardized research methodologies, these practices continue to be popular in alternative health circles. Recent research introduces the possibility that crystals may have the capability to alter the alkalinity of water. This concept has led to the exploration of using crystals such as aventurine, chalcedony, and others to infuse water, potentially enhancing its properties. Aventurine, a type of quartz known for its shimmering effect, is traditionally associated with prosperity and clarity of mind. When placed in water, it's believed that aventurine can impart these energetic qualities, possibly affecting the water's pH level and making it more alkaline. Alkaline water is often valued for its health benefits, which include improved hydration and potential antioxidant effects. Chalcedony, known for its nurturing and harmonizing attributes, is thought to absorb negative energy and promote emotional balance. The infusion of chalcedony in water might not only influence the alkalinity, but also imbue the water with these calming properties. Beyond aventurine and chalcedony, a variety of other crystals are being explored for their unique effects on water. Each crystal is believed to contribute distinct energetic and physical changes to the water. For example, rose quartz is often associated with love and emotional healing, while amethyst is linked to purification and spiritual growth. The idea is that immersing these crystals in water could transfer their properties, thereby enhancing the water's benefit. One way to benefit from the transformative power of crystals is to drink water from slim crystal bottles. Each of the slim crystal bottles contains 9 types of natural crystals inside them. Experts claim that they can provide fantastic benefits to the human body. So, if you're interested in these benefits, please check out the description of this video down below. Nikola Tesla, known for his groundbreaking contributions to the development of electromagnetic technology, has been linked to the concept of purple plate, a topic surrounded by intrigue and esoteric lore. These purple plates, also known as Tesla plates, are said to be influenced by Tesla's research and ideas, although he himself did not directly create them. The purple plates are typically made from anodized aluminium and are colored purple, believed to be a significant color for its high frequency and energy. The concept behind these plates is that they're infused with Tesla's free energy theory, supposedly harnessing cosmic energy and providing a range of metaphysical benefits. It's claimed that when objects or people come into contact with these plates, they absorb this energy, leading to various positive effects. The theory suggests that these plates can help in energizing and revitalizing the body's natural healing processes. This is based on the idea that living beings have an electromagnetic nature and that the subtle energies from the plates can align and balance the body's energy fields. People have used them for a range of purposes, from promoting physical healing to enhancing meditation and spiritual practices. In addition to their supposed health benefits, purple plates are also believed to energize and structurally change water when placed beneath the container of water. This concept is somewhat related to Masaru Emoto's theory that water's molecular structure can be influenced by external energies and intentions. The origins of the purple plates are traced back to Ralph Bergstresser, a friend and admirer of Tesla, who claimed to have been inspired by Tesla's work to develop them. Bergstresser believed that by capturing the vibrational energy of the universe, as Tesla had theorized, he could imbue the plates with a healing frequency. Despite the lack of scientific evidence to substantiate the claims made about purple plates, they have gained a following in New Age and alternative healing communities. Users of the plates often report subjective improvements in their well-being, energy levels, and overall health, although these experiences are anecdotal and not supported by empirical research.
Okay, I gotta end this. Thank you, and have a wonderful day. Sorry, I fell asleep for a bit. This is not a good thing. Sorry, I'm just tired. I got this.